Chapter 386. Behind her, 4 people led their horses out one after another. Ji Shanshan followed her gaze and turned to look. She immediately curled her lips. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. In such a big city like Serene City, she just had to meet the person she least wanted to see. Sun Yin. At this moment, Sun Yin also looked over. The moment he saw Ji Shanshan's face, the smile on his face instantly froze. He then glanced at the 2 people beside Ji Shanshan before his gaze landed on Jing Yunzhao. In that instant, his blood boiled as he gripped the reins tightly. His eyes looked like he wanted to kill someone. Jing Yunzhao. That brat is here too. 1-1. Why did you quarrel with them? Sun Yin tried her best to control her emotions. She squeezed out a smile on her face and asked the arrogant girl in red. The other party snorted. I didn't quarrel. Are they worthy? I just saw some people bragging about how handsome they are, and I couldn't help but want to give them a blow. After all, this isn't a place that just anyone can come here. Are you done? We didn't offend you. What's the point of insulting us? Ji Shanshan felt aggrieved. It was her first time riding a horse. It was normal for her to be nervous and scared. The other party was too overbearing. It's interesting. I just can't stand country bumpkins pretending to be noble. What's wrong? The other party blinked and smiled as if it was only natural. Jing Yunzhao frowned. This miss is really noble. Her clothes are decent, and even the horse she chose is better than others. It's just that it's just a golden exterior and a rotten interior. She doesn't have the slightest bit of upbringing. What a waste of such a good horse. When Sun Yin heard this, she immediately said, Jing Yunzhao, why are you everywhere? Miss Sun Yin, I also want to know why you're always in front of me. Are you haunting me? Jing Yunzhao didn't back down. When the lady beside her heard this, she turned to look at Sun Yin. You know each other? Sun Yin was a little embarrassed. I've met her once. Her name is Jing Yunzhao. She's an orphan who has no parents. She took advantage of the fact that she managed to hook up with an old senior to attend an event and chased me out. I really don't know how she managed to survive. She must have latched onto some big tree again. Although she could no longer make medicine from now on, since she had met Jing Yunzhao, she did not want to have an easy time. Only nobles could come to this horse farm, unless they had some connections. None of the people here could be offended, such as Hongwen. The Hong family was a prestigious family in Ning City. Hongwen's father had a net worth of 1 billion yuan and was one of the top figures in Ning City. As for Hongwen, she had been doted on since she was young and was a veritable little princess with an arrogant personality. Previously, because she was raising funds for Jing Yunzhao, she had been invited to a banquet by a few rich kids. She had met Hongwen at the banquet and had a good relationship with her. Hearing Sun Yan's words, Hongwen's expression turned into one of disgust, as if Jing Yunzhao was some kind of dirty thing. She pouted. No wonder. She even said this miss doesn't have any upbringing. Sun Yan smiled slightly and looked at Jing Yunzhao. She deliberately provoked her. 1-1, I'm afraid you don't know. This Jing Yunzhao has always been arrogant. She doesn't take anyone seriously. Hongwen adjusted the reins in her hand and looked at the staff. You also invite people like her to the horse farm? The staff was stunned. Did I not make myself clear enough? I'll have to trouble you to chase these 3 people out. Just looking at them annoys me. I don't want anything annoying to disturb my mood. Chapter 387. Hongwen held her head high. Her fiery red figure was even more dazzling under the sun. Ji Shanshan trembled in anger and glared at her. However, there was no point in glaring. Even though she didn't know where Hongwen came from, she could tell that she came from a wealthy family. Her words carried weight. Even though she wasn't afraid, she still had to think about Xiao Haiqing and her father. If they were implicated, they would have a hard time in the future. A smug smile appeared on Sun Yan's face. Fortunately, she met Jing Yunzhao today, allowing her to vent the anger in her heart. The heavens were indeed fair. Previously, Jing Yunzhao had chased her away, causing her to lose so much face. Now, she had to return the favor. Sun Yin thought for a moment, waiting for Jing Yunzhao to burst into tears. However, all she saw was Jing Yunzhao staring coldly at the staff member. The staff member also hesitated, not wanting to step forward. What's wrong with you? Are you not going to listen to Miss Hong? She's a regular here. Sun Yin immediately said, You're just a fox pretending to be a tiger. Sun Yin, you're shameless. You were the one who lost the competition and was chased out, yet you're still yelling in front of us. I've never seen someone as thick-skinned as you. Ji Shanshan gritted her teeth. Am I as thick-skinned as you? Even though I won't be able to return to the Cui family because of Jing Yunzhao, Cui Jun still respects me, his cousin. Ji Shanshan, as long as I'm here, you'll never be able to be my cousin in this lifetime. Just give up on that thought. Sun Yan's words were soft and gentle. Ji Shanshan's eyes reddened at the mention of Cui Jun. Who cares? You had a competition before? Hong Wen's eyes lit up. What did you compete in? Sun Yan's expression changed. It's nothing. It's just memory and courage. She lost because she didn't dare to touch those disgusting centipedes. Otherwise, how could she, Sun Yan, lose to a wild girl? Oh, is that so? Hong Wen's eyes shone. She stroked the horse's mane and said, Are they very brave? It's all right. Sun Yan felt a little guilty. When Hong Wen heard this, the corners of her mouth curled up. She suddenly raised the whip in her hand and lashed out at the horse under Ji Shanshan. Ji Shanshan's horse was startled and galloped away. When Xiao Haiqing and Jing Yunzhao saw this, their expressions changed drastically. Ji Shanshan was wobbling on the horse's back and screaming nonstop. When the staff saw this, they immediately wanted to help her. However, Hong Wen said, Okay, you guys go help her. The owner of your ranch is a friend of my father. I just need to say a word, and you'll all lose your jobs. Of course, losing your jobs isn't a big deal, but I'm a very vengeful person. If anyone makes things difficult for me, I'll make things difficult for his entire family. Hong Wen was a regular here, and many people knew about her arrogant character. Previously, one of the staff members felt that she was too arrogant and couldn't stand it. However, Hong Wen insisted that the staff member follow her. In the end, for some reason, the staff member who offended Hong Wen inexplicably fell down and was kicked by the horse a few times before being sent to the hospital. The staff member was seriously injured, but Hong Wen was a customer after all. At that time, she even wanted to pursue the responsibility of the ranch. She said that the staff member took advantage of her when she was riding with her and was pushed down by her in a hurry, causing the accident. In the end, the ranch paid Hong Wen's money. The staff member who was trampled didn't even receive compensation and was almost sued. Therefore, when Hong Wen said that, no one dared to step forward. Chapter 388. Jing Yunzhao was infuriated when she saw that everyone was playing dumb. Ji Shanshan was so nervous that she held onto the horse tightly. The horse was in so much pain that it went berserk, kicking up a cloud of dust. Perhaps she would be thrown off the horse in the next second. Although the pony was not very tall, it was bound to be badly injured under such gravity. Jing Yunzhao clenched her fists. Xiao Haiqing gritted her teeth and said, I'll go. What's the point of you going? Just stay there. After she finished speaking, Jing Yunzhao's body moved, directly urging the horse to gallop over. Jing Yunzhao's mind was blank as the wind whistled past her ears. It was her first time riding a horse, and it was so difficult that she could not be nervous. However, her eyes were fixed on Ji Shanshan, so she could not think too much about it. Jing Yunzhao's ability to learn things had always been very high. Moreover, she had a foundation in martial arts. At first, she wasn't used to it, but after moving forward for some distance, she became more steady. It was just that when the black horse under her got close to Ji Shanshan's horse, it was clearly a bit resistant. Jing Yunzhao had no choice but to exert force on her feet. She suddenly jumped up, stepped on the horse's back, and sat down directly behind Ji Shanshan. Ji Shanshan clung to the horse like an octopus. Jing Yunzhao scooped her up. However, she did not know how to control the pony, so she could only let it continue to be irritable. After a while, it finally stopped. The group of people not far away were dumbfounded. Xiao Haiqing had been on tenterhooks all this time. When she saw that Jing Yunzhao had the situation under control, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. She abandoned her horse and ran over. Yunzhao, are you okay? Xiao Haiqing looked worried. If she had known that they would encounter trouble at the racecourse, no matter how curious she was, she would not have brought Jing Yunzhao along. The situation just now was too dangerous. Jing Yunzhao's guts were really big. Even if she knew some martial arts to protect herself, she shouldn't have been so impulsive. After all, when she jumped onto Ji Shanshan's back, the distance between the two horses was at least 3 meters. What if she stepped on the wrong side? What if he fell under the horse? Although it was a pony, it would not feel good to be stepped on by it. Jing Yunzhao heaved a sigh of relief and jumped down from the horse's back. Fortunately, it was a close call. Ji Shanshan was in a daze. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she clutched at Jing Yunzhao's sleeves, refusing to let go. Well, it's okay. Jing Yunzhao looked at her and couldn't help but say. Ji Shanshan sobbed a few more times before she recovered. The next second, she ran directly to Hong Wen and pointed at her nose, scolding, "Are you crazy? You're too vicious. If something happens to me, will you take responsibility?" Hong Wen snorted. "Nothing happened, right? How boring," Hong Wen said slowly, as if she didn't care at all. "You people like to make a fuss over nothing. Are you blaming me for not taking good care of your own horse and causing it to be frightened? Besides, isn't it normal to use a whip in this racecourse? I accidentally touched your horse's butt. Who knew it would be so useless?" Jing Yunzhao had also come back. When she heard Hong Wen's words, the anger in her heart grew. This woman was only in her early 20s. She looked pretty and charming, but she didn't care about human life at all. She wasn't exaggerating. After all, in that situation, if Ji Shanshan was really thrown off, no matter how lucky she would have suffered more than minor injuries. Chapter 389. Hong Wen didn't care about it at all. At most, she was surprised by Jing Yunzhao's performance. The way he jumped on the horse looked like a martial arts actor to her. If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she would have thought that Jing Yunzhao had a strong aura around him. The world was so big that nothing was too strange. It was a pity that such a talent didn't join the acrobatic troupe. Hong Wen's eyebrows twitched. She rode the pony past Ji Shanshan slowly, not even looking at her. "All right, I'm too lazy to play with you country bumpkins. Sun Yin, let's go to the woods for a walk. We'll get someone to send us some afternoon tea. Let's enjoy this leisurely time." Jing Yunzhao's eyes flashed. He flicked a small stone out of his hand. She used her internal strength and wasn't far away. Naturally, she aimed accurately and hit the horse's leg. In the next moment, the horse suddenly knelt down and fell to the ground with a cry. Hong Wen was as elegant as a proud peacock a second ago. But in the next second, she lost her balance and fell to the ground, rolling 3 or 4 times. The 5 of them were relatively close to each other. When Hong Wen's horse fell, the horses behind it were naturally startled. Each of them raised their front legs and howled a few times. The few people sitting on the horses were even more startled. When Hong Wen fell to the ground, everyone gathered around her. They saw that Hong Wen didn't have an arm and her face was covered in dirt. She was wearing white pants, which were now covered in dirt. There were some scars on her wrists. It looked a little scary, but it didn't seem to be a big deal. It was probably because of the fall that his arm was injured. Wen, are you okay? Don't scare me. Call an ambulance." The people around her immediately cried out anxiously. Hong Wen gritted her teeth. She was in a sorry state, but her injury wasn't serious. So she was very clear-headed. But when she heard the people around her shouting, she was even angrier. She stared at Jing Yunzhao and the others and said, "It's you guys, isn't it?" Her horse couldn't have fallen for no reason. It must be the 3 of them taking revenge. Jing Yunzhao snorted. "Miss Hong, are you joking? We were 3 to 4 meters away from you. Even if we swung our whips, we wouldn't be able to reach you. Besides, there were so many people here who saw us swinging our whips." Since she had made a move, she would not leave any evidence for others to use against her. If she was at a disadvantage in terms of martial arts, then he would be completely useless. Hong Wen's eyes turned cold. "It's you. Wen, I've called an ambulance." Sun Yin was eager to show her concern. Hong Wen directly threw a cold knife at her. "Why are you calling an ambulance? Call the police. Just say that it was a murder." "Oh right, call my father over. I want to see who brought them here." This was considered a family area. There were some underage children and young ladies around 20 years old. There weren't many boys, and most of the people in the horse farm next door were middle-aged men. Now that Hongwen said this, Sun Yin understood. The other 3 people beside her quickly went next door to call for help. Hongwen climbed up from the ground in a sorry state. She was helped to sit in the rest area by the staff. Jing Yunzhao and the others were stopped by the staff. For a moment, they couldn't move. It seemed that they were treated as criminals. Jing Yunzhao's eyes were gloomy. He thought for a moment, then took out his phone and made 2 calls. Chapter 390. For a moment, the surroundings were silent. Ji Shanshan was furious. She knew that she was not a person to be trifled with, and even knew that she was willful and mischievous. However, after meeting Hongwen, she truly understood what it meant to be unreasonable. Although she was sometimes hot-tempered, she rarely did things that harmed others. Take the incident of hitting Jing Yunzhao with a stone in the manor as an example. At that time, she was anxious and actually regretted it after she did it. Seeing that Jing Yunzhao was fine, she continued to pretend to be strong. Moreover, Cui Jun was also there at that time, so she lost her sense of propriety. However, this Hongwen was different. It was as if everyone was not worth mentioning in her eyes. What should we do? Xiao Haiqing, I seem to have caused trouble for you, Ji Shanshan said, a little embarrassed. This Hongwen should have quite a background. Although Xiao Daoan's business was smooth sailing, it definitely could not compare to the Hong family. Xiao Haiqing shook her head. What does it have to do with you? The other party looked down on us. As soon as she came in, she stared at our clothes. Obviously, she knows that our family background is not as good as hers, so she deliberately looked for trouble. Their clothes were actually not bad. As they had never ridden a horse before, they definitely would not come here often in the future. To avoid wasting money, they bought ordinary clothes. If she were to apologize, she would feel that she had let down Jing Yunzhao and Ji Shanshan. This time, she clearly wanted to bring the 2 of them out to relax, but in the end, they encountered such an unreasonable young miss. She even almost caused Ji Shanshan to be injured. Jing Yunzhao glanced at Xiao Haiqing. She wanted to speak, but Xiao Haiqing whispered into her ear, "You don't have to say it." I know. Other than Jing Yunzhao, no one could make Hongwen fall to the ground so pathetically without anyone noticing. Just now, there was an 80 to 90% chance that Jing Yunzhao did it, although she did not know how or when he did it. She wasn't stupid enough to blame Jing Yunzhao. She, Xiao Haiqing, had never been a coward. If it wasn't for the fact that she couldn't do it, she would be even more ruthless than Jing Yunzhao. However, she did not know that it was not that Jing Yunzhao was not ruthless, but that it was inconvenient for him to make his move too obvious. Otherwise, once he was discovered, he would not be able to escape no matter what. Although she was being stopped now, no one would have any real evidence. It was just a competition of power, so she was not afraid. Old Master Su was right. It was impossible for her to only use her medical skills to save people. If she wanted to save people, she had to be able to save herself first. Only by using her own ability to climb to a certain height would she have the qualifications to do what she liked. Unless she chose to be an extremely ordinary mortal for the rest of her life, there would be no lack of trouble. While they were waiting, the staff had already come to treat Hongwen's wound. The skin on her hand was scraped, and there were some slight scars on her face. Her leg was also injured, but it was not serious. The scar on her left arm was the most serious. It was caused by a stone on the ground. A lot of blood flowed out, but it would not hinder her usual activities. Not long after, a group of people walked over in a grandiose manner. Because Hongwen had a big mouth and asked people to spread the word that someone wanted to murder her, many of them were worried that something would happen to their children, so they came over. However, when they came in and saw that Hongwen only had some superficial wounds, they were relieved. What happened? Wenwen, why did you fall from the horse? A middle-aged man came over and asked with a distressed look. When Hongwen heard that, she felt wronged. Dad, it's all because of these 3 people. They did something to the horse. As soon as she said that, everyone's faces changed. Birds of a feather flocked together. The people around Hongwen also had a look of agreement, especially Sun Yin. She simply felt that today was a good day for her to hold her head high. Chapter 391. Hongwen's father had a square face and looked very serious. There were a few people standing beside him, and they were basically here to check on the situation. Among them was Xiao Haiqing's father, Xiao Daoan. When Xiao Daoan saw his daughter being surrounded by a few staff members, his heart was already beating like a drum. Now that he heard Hongwen's complaint, his expression instantly turned ugly. Is there some misunderstanding? CEO Hong, this is my daughter and her 2 classmates, Xiao Daoan quickly said. When Xiao Haiqing saw her father being so polite, she smiled bitterly. Yesterday afternoon, when she was chatting with her father, she heard him mention that although their Xiao family's business entered Ning City, it was mainly because they were lucky that Tianhong Industrial had taken a liking to them. Originally, Tianhong Industrial was cooperating with another company, but some family powers were involved. It was said that the family that originally cooperated with Tianhong Industrial had offended someone, and the other party wanted to teach that family a lesson. Hence, Tianhong Industrial canceled the cooperation with the other party and chose another company. Although their Xiao family's company wasn't very strong, it was developing quite well now. In addition to the low price, it naturally went with the flow. However, looking at her father now, Tianhong Industrial probably belonged to the Hong family, right? When CEO Hong heard Xiao Daoan's words, his expression instantly turned cold. Misunderstanding? My daughter has already said so. What misunderstanding can there be? CEO Xiao, how did you educate your daughter? Xiao Daoan only felt embarrassed, and the surrounding gazes all looked at him. As a man, he couldn't wait to find a hole to hide in. If the other party was just in the same line of work, he could still quibble, but the other party was his financial backer. What could he say? What else could he say? Yes, I will definitely educate her properly when I get home. He instantly nodded in response, looking extremely pathetic. When Hongwen saw her father in such a state, she became even more arrogant. She said with a faint smile, Dad, these 3 people are preparing to murder me. Are you going to let them go home so easily? Look at my face. It's already disfigured, and my arm. It almost broke. Just now, they even pointed at my nose and scolded me for not having a good upbringing. I have never suffered such grievances since I was young. Hongwen added. As soon as he said that, CEO Hong's heart ached. He only had this one precious daughter. She had been his sweet little jacket since she was young. He had always been reluctant to hit or scold her. Even when he spoke to her, he would always ask her softly and always give her the best. Now, she was being bullied by outsiders? Furthermore, it was the Xiao family that he had personally promoted, saying that his daughter was uneducated. Does Hong Tian's daughter need anyone to educate her? According to the rules, we'll deal with what needs to be dealt with. Daughter, don't worry. Father won't let you suffer. CEO Hong's expression softened a little, but in the blink of an eye, he stared at Xiao Daoan as if he wanted to eat him alive. CEO Xiao, I was the one who gave you the gold card for this race course, right? I thought you were a strict person, but now it seems that I was wrong. You can't even educate your daughter well. How can I hand over such a big project to you? The moment Xiao Daoan heard, his heart instantly went cold. Looking at his own daughter, he was extremely disappointed. CEO Hong, let me go and ask her first. Xiao Daoan's heart was uneasy. He walked to Xiao Haiqing, his chest heaving up and down in anger. Looking at his daughter's unruly look, he was even more furious. Instantly, he raised his hand and slapped her face. Chapter 392. Xiao Daoan's action caught everyone off guard. Even Xiao Haiqing didn't expect her father to suddenly raise his hand and give her a slap. They had just reconciled yesterday and even agreed to discuss with her father if she had any problems in the future. Now, without knowing what was right or wrong, he directly hit her. Xiao Haiqing's face instantly turned red and swollen, but she didn't cover it. Her eyes were slightly red as she looked at the tall figure in front of her. Why did you hit me? It was frighteningly calm. You did something wrong. Xiao Daoan gritted his teeth angrily. I thought you had changed. Who knew that a leopard can't change its spots? You know how to be so ruthless at such a young age? What if something happens to CEO Hong's daughter? Xiao Haiqing's pupils constricted. After a few seconds of silence, she suddenly smiled. Yun Zhao, did you see that? This is my father. Xiao Haiqing's tears fell, but the corners of her lips curled up. She refused to lose the limelight. Yesterday, he said he believed in my father. Today, in the blink of an eye, he believes in someone else. Even a stranger's words are more effective than mine. It's not Jiang Rong's problem or Hongwen's problem. It's just that he doesn't believe in me from the bottom of his heart. He doesn't want me to be well at all. Hongwen deserved it when she fell. Not to mention that there's no evidence to say that we did it. Even if there is evidence, you should ask me why. Xiao Haiqing clenched her fists, her eyes full of resentment. Jing Yunzhao was even more disappointed. Ji Shanshan simply didn't dare to believe it. Uncle Xiao, how can you be like this? Xiao Haiqing isn't wrong. Just now, it was clearly this stinky woman who used a whip to whip my horse and almost made me fall. We didn't blame her after that. We were 3 to 4 meters away and didn't even touch. How can you accuse us like this? Ji Shanshan couldn't understand. If this was her father, he would definitely protect her at all costs. Previously, she was still happy for Xiao Haiqing. She didn't expect this Uncle Xiao to change so suddenly. Xiao Haiqing wiped her tears. No need to say any more. He only believes in himself. Her gaze was extremely unfamiliar. From the day her mother passed away, she had lost her father. It was just that she didn't believe it all these years and lied to herself. Xiao Daoan panicked, but more than that, he was angry. He suppressed his anger and said, "When you were in school, you fooled around with a bunch of hooligans. How could this kind of thing not be done by you? She's about to call the police, and you're still arguing with me. Hurry up and apologize." Uncle Xiao, it has nothing to do with Haiqing. I was the one who threw a stone at the horse's leg. Jing Yunzhao couldn't stand it anymore and confessed. However, Xiao Haiqing stopped her and smiled. "Yunzhao, it's not like you don't know what kind of person I am. Even if you didn't do anything, I still wouldn't let Hongwen have an easy time. I, Xiao Haiqing, definitely won't let people who bully me laugh." Therefore, there was nothing much to say. It was time to call the police, right? Then let's call the police. Compared to going to the Xiao family, I'd rather go to the police station. The food there is definitely better than the Xiao family's. When Xiao Daoan heard this, he simply gritted his teeth in anger. This was his good daughter. She was unrepentant and challenged his bottom line again and again. Previously, she didn't learn well in school. Every time he chatted with clients in Huaning County, he didn't even dare to mention his daughter's name. He was afraid that the other party's child was also in school and would look at him with prejudice. Yesterday, he thought that she had changed and was happy and gratified. He didn't expect that she didn't change for the better, but worse, she even knew how to put on an act in front of him. Chapter 393. Xiao Daoan suddenly hated this daughter of his. Why wasn't she as obedient and sensible as before? She always offended people outside. It was fine in the past. There weren't many people in Huaning County that she couldn't afford to offend. But now that she was in Ning City, she actually offended the Hong family. Hong Tian and his daughter were people that he wanted to curry favor with. Now, for this project, he had almost lowered the price to the lowest in order to climb up the big tree that was the Hong family and build a good relationship with them so that he could gain more benefits in the future. Who knew that Xiao Haiqing would cause such a ruckus? If the Hong family tried to withdraw their investment, how could his company's small team of lawyers compete with the Hong family? They might even help them count the money even if they were sold. How could he not be angry? How could he not be angry? You're simply pestering endlessly. Xiao Haiqing, don't let me be completely disappointed in you. If it weren't for CEO Hong, I wouldn't have the ability to gain a foothold in Ning City. You better apologize to Miss Hong obediently. Xiao Daoan said angrily. Jing Yunzhao couldn't understand why Xiao Daoan, who was still so calm previously, would change so quickly. Could it be that to a man, his career was more important than his daughter? Or did he feel that Xiao Haiqing only needed to lower her head and admit defeat to gain more benefits, so it was worth it? However, maybe it was like what Xiao Haiqing said. Xiao Daoan felt that Xiao Haiqing hadn't changed at all. He was sure that she had done something wrong, so he was so angry. Otherwise, there should be some guilt and uneasiness in his eyes. Xiao Haiqing glanced at her father and walked towards Hongwen under his gaze. At this moment, Hongwen raised her eyebrows and smiled at her. I won't accept your apology alone. Just now, Jing Yunjiao also admitted that she was the one who laid hands on me. Pa. Xiao Haiqing directly raised her hand and threw it over. Now it's me who laid hands on you, right? Miss Hong, it's a pity that you didn't fall to your death. Instantly, Hong Tian directly pushed Xiao Haiqing over. Xiao Daoan, your daughter is too much. How dare they lay their hands on his precious daughter in front of him? When Xiao Daoan saw this, he was so angry that he was about to explode. He went forward to find trouble with Xiao Haiqing, but Jing Yunjiao also walked over and pulled Xiao Haiqing into his arms, blocking Xiao Daoan's hand that was about to swing down. Are you done? Mr. Xiao, I'm only tolerating you because your surname is Xiao, but this tolerance is not limitless. Jing Yunjiao coldly stared at Xiao Daoan. Jing Yunjiao. Xiao Daoan's impression of Jing Yunjiao had long since fallen to the bottom. She had thought that she was a well-behaved child, but who knew that she would go crazy with her daughter? You don't have to call my name. I'm not your daughter. I won't let you hit me. Have you called the police? All right, let's see who's the unlucky one in the end. Jing Yunjiao's voice was cold as she continued. Miss Hong, whatever people do, the heavens are watching. Just now, I only admitted that I threw a small pebble, that's all. The power of a small pebble can be tested by others, but don't forget, this horse farm doesn't belong to your Hong family. Not everyone here is from your Hong family. There will be a few who saw you raising your horsewhip to intentionally harm people. Who are you trying to scare? Who would dare to go against the Hong family? None of the people here today had a higher status than the Hong family. At most, they were on par with them. Everyone was a businessman and knew that benefits came first. Jing Yunjiao's threat was completely useless. Moreover, so what if someone reported her for laying hands on someone? What the Hong family had was money. Problems that could be solved with money were not problems at all. But could the Xiao family and Jing Yunjiao do that? Chapter 394. Hong Wen continued to look at everyone calmly and even confidently waited for the police to arrive. Sun Yan, who was standing at the side, was already a little excited. She naturally asked about Hong Wen's well-being. Sun Yan looked gentle and had a medicinal fragrance on her body. She was also very amiable when she spoke, which made CEO Hong very satisfied. Once she heard that she was in a good university in Ning City and even directly promised to work in the Hong family's Tian Hong enterprise after she graduated. Sun Yan was naturally delighted. Sun Yan was arrogant in her heart, but she didn't have the capital to be arrogant now. She could only start from scratch. She clearly knew what to do to be better for herself. More than 20 minutes later, the police arrived. It's these 3 people. Bring them back and interrogate them properly, Hong Tian said directly. Although Xiao Daoan was angry, she was still his daughter after all. Hence, he was anxious and helpless. But after seeing Xiao Haiqing's attitude, he changed his mind and decided to let her be. Maybe she could learn to be more well-behaved after some training. After all, his daughter was still underage. Even if the other party spent money, the sentence wouldn't be heavy. Xiao Daoan's emotions were complicated, even conflicted. Xiao Haiqing's tears had stopped long ago. She looked at this scene coldly as if she wasn't an insider. Wait. Just at this moment, a group of people arrived behind the police. Jing Yunjiao took a look and heaved a sigh of relief. His eyes were as calm as ever. Elder Tang? Hong Tian was shocked. Why was this old man here? Was he playing golf at the side just now? That couldn't be right. The Tang family's backyard was just a golf course. Wasn't it enough for him to take a stroll? Just as he called out to Elder Tang, the next second, Hong Tian was stunned again. He stared at the person behind Elder Tang. Deputy Mayor Liu? CEO Bai? Pak Yuan came after receiving a call from Elder Tang. As for Elder Tang and Deputy Mayor Liu, it was naturally Jing Yunjiao who informed them. It's so lively. Why are even the police here? Who's causing trouble? Elder Tang didn't seem to be happy or angry, making people feel uneasy. At this moment, even Hong Wen was perceptive enough to calm down. The Hong family and the Tang family were not on the same level. Previously, in order to curry favor with the Tang family, Hong Tian had looked for the He family to collaborate on a project. Who knew that the He family had done something to make Elder Tang unhappy? It seemed like he had lost favor. Hence, Hong Tian directly abandoned the He family that he was negotiating with and went to look for Xiao Daoan. Hong Tian smiled. It's these 3 children who are not very sensible. They purposely caused my daughter to fall from the horse. Then, how does CEO Hong intend to deal with it? Pak Yuan's expression was ugly. Their Jade Spirit Wine Company was the fastest growing company in the entire Ning City, so they still had the right to speak. Hong Tian didn't want to put Pak Yuan in his eyes, but he had no choice but to treat him differently. This was because this Pak Yuan seemed to have grown 3 heads and 6 arms. Although the company's current market value wasn't high, surprisingly, there were many people in Serene City who were willing to help them. For example, Elder Tang, Vice Mayor Liu, as well as the chairman of one of the top 3 corporations in Ning City, had once had a good chat with him. Pak Yuan could be said to be the new CEO that couldn't be offended in Serene City. Hence, he still had to give him face. However, Hong Tian didn't know that these people weren't giving face to Pak Yuan at all. Instead, they were giving Jade Spirit Wine Company special treatment because of Jing Yunzhao, the miracle doctor. Hong Tian coughed dryly and said, "Let's deal with it according to the truth. Although the 3 children are young, they are guilty of intentional injury. I even suspect that they were murdered with a motive. Who knows if they were hired by my sworn enemy?" He naturally knew that it was impossible, but at this time, he had to be more serious and exaggerated. Otherwise, if this person was released in the future, there wouldn't be any effect of teaching him a lesson. Chapter 395. Hong Tian's murder with a motive made Pak Yuan laugh coldly. CEO Hong, are you sure you're not suffering from paranoia? Does Bai Yuan's sister need to be hired as an assassin? Bai Yuan said angrily. At this moment, Bai Yuan couldn't wait to directly reveal Jing Yunzhao's identity, but after thinking about it, he understood what she meant. After all, she was still underage and was a popular person on the internet. If she suddenly became the real boss behind Yuling Wines, then it would definitely set off a huge wave. Yuling Wines was still in its early stages, and Jing Yunzhao's age would also affect the company. Hence, some words were stuck in his mouth, but he couldn't say them. He felt aggrieved. However, one day, he would make Yuling Wines grow to an unshakable stage. By then, even if Jing Yunzhao's identity was revealed, it wouldn't affect the company at all. The company was growing stronger every day, and the day when Jing Yunzhao stood under its light was not far away. Even though Pak Yuan didn't say the truth, Hong Tian was still stunned. CEO Bai's sister? Hong Tian was suspicious. He had investigated Pak Yuan before, and he was the only child in the family. He did have a son in the past, but it was his wife who gave birth to him. He was just a cuckold, so how could he have a sister out of nowhere? Who was it? Hong Tian turned to look at the other 2 girls, and they didn't look like Pak Yuan at all. That's right, CEO Hong. My sister has no reason to murder the daughter of the Hong family, right? Pak Yuan said as he walked in front of Jing Yunzhao. Jing Yunzhao's mouth moved slightly. The seniority was really messed up. She had always addressed Pak Yuan as Uncle Bai. After all, they were 16 or 17 years apart. In addition, he had helped her a lot in her previous life, so she had always addressed him that way. Thus, she had never felt that there was anything wrong with it. However, she did not expect that in her second life, Pak Yuan's mentality was much younger than before. Not only Pak Yuan, but even Xiang Jin was the same. The 2 of them were about the same age. Recently, whenever she called Xiang Jin Aunt Jean, the other party would have a strange expression on her face. However, it was normal for him to address Pak Yuan as Big Brother. Isn't she an orphan? Sun Yin asked. Jing Yunzhao's story had spread all over the internet. Who didn't know that she was a child of unknown parents? There were even people who volunteered to search for her biological parents. How could she suddenly have an older brother, and this older brother seemed to be the general manager of some company? Pak Yuan snorted softly. Jing Yunzhao's adoptive parents and our Bai family are neighbors. She is the adopted daughter of my parents. If she isn't my younger sister, then what is she? Don't tell me you think that my younger sister is easy to bully because she doesn't have a backer. Is that why you purposely picked on her? When Sun Yin heard this, her heart felt stifled. So that was the reason. But why did she have such good luck? What was so good about her that people would treat her so well? Hong Tian was a little unhappy. Wasn't he just the general manager of Yuling Wines? What was there to be arrogant about? Although Yuling Wines was stronger than other companies, how could it be compared to the Hong family? How could he be in a position to point fingers? President Bai's words are inverting black and white. This Jing Yunzhao admitted that she used a rock to smash my daughter's horse, causing my daughter to fall from the horse's back. Everyone here heard it. It can't be fake. Moreover, so what if she is CEO Bai's younger sister? Since she made a mistake, shouldn't she be punished? Chapter 396. When Pak Yuan said that Jing Yunzhao was his sister, Hong Tian wanted to give CEO Bai some face. But seeing how arrogant he was, Hong Tian didn't have that thought. Do you believe me just because I said it? I'm just asking, who saw it? Jing Yunzhao suddenly said, not to mention that no one saw me do it. Even if they did, I still want to ask, how much strength did I have to use to cause such a result? If I really used force, the range of my movements should be very big, right? Why don't you ask the staff if I did anything suspicious at that time? Also, since we're going to arrest him, Miss Hong can't be excluded. Didn't you see the reason why Ji Shanshan startled the horse? Jing Yunzhao added. When Hongwen heard that, she smiled. Looking at the people around her, she said righteously, everyone, tell me, who saw me whip the horse? Everyone was silent. Then, did you see Jing Yunzhao pick up a stone and hit my horse? Hongwen asked again. Just as she finished speaking, Elder Tang suddenly coughed. Yunzhao girl, why didn't you tell me that you came to Serene City? Is living in someone else's house more comfortable than living in the Tang family's house? Look at yourself, it's so chaotic outside. If you want to ride a horse or play golf, just tell Zihua and let him accompany you. Our Tang family doesn't have anything else, but we definitely have enough land. We also have a few good horses at home, and the breed is absolutely pure. The main thing is that the environment is good, so such a terrible thing won't happen, don't you think? When Elder Tang finished speaking, the surroundings suddenly fell silent. Everyone looked at each other. Everyone knew that although Elder Tang looked kind, his personality was definitely not like his appearance. Otherwise, he wouldn't have developed the Tang group to such a large scale. It was said that those who offended him in the past were never able to raise their heads again, so he was definitely not a kind old man. Therefore, it was even more impossible for him to sympathize with Jing Yunzhao and speak up for her. Then, this was, Grandpa Tang. I'm here to accompany a friend. I didn't want to disturb you. Jing Yunzhao was well aware of Grandpa Tang's intentions, so he was very cooperative. Elder Tang glared at her unhappily. Who dares to call you a nuisance? Since you want to accompany your friends, then just bring them along. Your girl's friends are also welcomed by the Tang clan. By the way, I taught you how to play chess last time. Did you practice it when you went back? If you can't beat me this time, don't go back to Huaning County. You and Zihua will transfer schools together. I'll only be at ease if you're under my watch, the old man said. At this moment, the muscles on Hong Tian's face twitched. He wasn't stupid. In fact, he could even be considered a smart person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have reached his current position. However, the current situation really caught him off guard. He couldn't even calm down. This Jing Yunzhao is actually friends with Elder Tang? Elder Tang was famous for not being easy to please. He liked porcelain and antiques. He also liked to play chess. However, he didn't play chess, but Go. As for those modern activities, he didn't like them. Therefore, those who wanted to please him would have to learn how to play chess. However, Elder Tang's chess skills weren't low. It wasn't something that could be compared to in a short period of time. Moreover, once Elder Tang found out that the other party's chess skills were terrible, he would immediately turn his back on them. There was no way he would be amiable. It was said that his children and even his grandchildren didn't have the honor of being taught by him personally. They all learned on their own and played chess with the old man after they mastered it. But now, Elder Tang actually admitted that he had taught Jing Yunzhao. Chapter 397. There were quite a number of people who came with Hong Tian from the horse farm next door. They were all smart people. Since Elder Tang had said so, it was obvious that he was siding with Jing Yunzhao. Hong Tian felt a headache coming on. He suddenly didn't know what to say. Before he could organize his words, he heard Elder Tang say, "Deputy Mayor Liu, our Yunjiao girl just said that this Miss Hong used her whip to harm people. This is a serious matter. Since you want to investigate, you should ask clearly. Bring everyone here back and interrogate them one by one. If they lied or hid anything, you have to teach them a lesson. Don't you think so?" Deputy Mayor Liu smiled. Although this case wasn't under his jurisdiction, he still had the ability to give a few pointers. Elder Tang is right. Miss Jing, if you have any grievances, feel free to tell Uncle Liu. I will make the decision for you, Deputy Mayor Liu said. Almost instantly, Hong Tian felt goosebumps all over his body. What was going on? Bai Yuan said that Jing Yunjiao was his younger sister, and Grandpa Tang called Jing Yunjiao girl. From the looks of it, it was as if he was treating his own granddaughter. Even this Vice Mayor Liu was treating Jing Yunjiao so nicely. When the others saw this, they were all alarmed. Immediately, someone said, Actually, I didn't see Jing Yunjiao throw a stone at people. Instead, it was Miss Hong. Her whip was loud and clear. At that time, the horse went crazy. If it wasn't for Miss Jing, I'm afraid that the little girl on the horse would have been seriously injured. The person who spoke was naturally not any less well off than Hong Wen. She had the guts to take the lead. Her father nodded in satisfaction at the side. Now, the only thing left was to see who had the guts to protect Jing Yunjiao. Speaking up for Jing Yunjiao was the same as currying favor with Vice Mayor Liu and Old Man Tang. Especially the first person to speak up, Old Man Tang would definitely remember, right? Indeed, Elder Tang looked over with a kind gaze. Is this the daughter of the Liu family? One look and I can tell that she is a well-educated and well-mannered child. The girl who spoke blushed. She had wanted to say something just now, but she knew clearly that if she were to say anything, she would become enemies with the Hong family. She didn't want to cause trouble for her family. However, it was different now. This Jing Yunjiao was the one that shouldn't be offended. As soon as this girl spoke, the others could no longer sit still. Miss Liu is right. I was nearby at that time. Not only did I see it, but I also heard it. The moment Hong Wen appeared, she called the three of them bumpkins. They complained a few times, and then Hong Wen attacked them. It was indeed Miss Hong who came looking for trouble first. The three of them didn't do anything too extreme. Actually, I have a video on my phone. When they were fighting just now, I was curious, so I took a video. Suddenly, a boy spoke up. The boy who spoke felt a little guilty, because at that time, he was naturally not curious, but because he knew Hong Wen. He accidentally overheard Hong Wen calling the three of them bumpkins, so he recorded it with the mentality of watching a good show. Of course, the main reason was that he wanted to pass it on to his friends and let them see how these bumpkins were chased out of the horse ranch, who knew that the protagonist was actually someone with a background. As soon as this person spoke, Hong Wen's expression stiffened. A few police officers opened the video to take a look. Although it wasn't very clear because of the distance, they could see that it was indeed Hong Wen who did it. They could even vaguely see her arrogant look. Chapter 398. Not only that, but the video also captured the moment when Hong Wen fell from the horse. Everyone replayed it several times, but they didn't see Jing Yunjiao make a move. Jing Yunjiao didn't find it strange. After all, the pebble she threw out wasn't big, and its speed was fast. From such a distance, it could only capture a shadow at most, unless she brought it back and let a professional analyze it, but it was just a small case. It could be seen at a glance. Furthermore, it didn't cause any deaths or injuries, so who would waste their time and effort on it? Once the video was released, Hong Tian naturally had nothing to say. Hong Wen gritted her teeth and glared at the boy, but she felt even more aggrieved. She had seen many country bumpkins, but no one had ever turned from a country bumpkin into a hot steamed bun. Everyone present had a teasing look in their eyes. The old man didn't say much and just glanced at Hong Tian. However, this glance made Hong Tian shudder. Miss Jing, so, it's all a misunderstanding. CEO Xiao is too much. Why didn't he make it clear in advance? Otherwise, there wouldn't be this misunderstanding. Hong Tian hated Xiao Daoan to death in his heart. It was fine if he brought his daughter, but he even brought his daughter's classmate. Wasn't this looking for trouble? Also, This Jing Yunjiao had a close relationship with Elder Tang, but he didn't know? Why didn't he remind him? If he had made it clear earlier, he wouldn't have let his daughter call the police. Now that things had turned out like this, wouldn't his daughter be taken to the police station to be taught a lesson? That was fine, but the problem was that Elder Tang probably remembered him by now. Serene City's social circle was only so big, and there were many people who wanted to curry favor with Elder Tang. Now that he had offended Elder Tang, there would naturally be people who would step on him to climb up. Hong Tian was angry, but Xiao Daoan was even more confused. He had never seen Elder Tang or this deputy mayor, so he didn't think there was a problem when they appeared. He even blamed his daughter for attracting so many big shots. It would be difficult for him to make a name for himself in Serene City in the future. However, he didn't expect that this person would come to stand up for Jing Yunjiao. Of course, although he was surprised, he could still accept it. However, what happened next was beyond his expectations. With just a few words from the old man, everyone around him changed their tune. Not only was Hong Tian, who he was trying his best to curry favor with, sweating profusely, he even looked like he had no strength to resist. Not only that, someone even took out a video. Everything in the video showed that Xiao Haiqing was completely innocent. This difference between reality and psychology caught him off guard, and he didn't know what to do. He was indeed afraid of offending Hong Tian, so when he knew that his daughter had made a mistake, the first thing that came to his mind was his daughter's arrogant past. He never thought that she was innocent, because in his eyes, it was impossible. Although he felt a little guilty towards his daughter yesterday, in his opinion, his daughter had only changed for the better. However, the word changed itself was problematic. It proved that she had made a mistake that he could not ignore. CEO Hong, I didn't know that Jing Yunjiao, Xiao Daoan was at a loss for words. What did he know? Actually, he didn't know anything. He didn't know what kind of person his daughter interacted with every day, even though he always hoped that his daughter could turn over a new leaf. Xiao Haiqing looked at her father's uneasy look and suddenly smiled. She felt that it was ridiculous, and she also felt like a fool. In these few years, the only time she had a harmonious time with her father was this morning and yesterday afternoon. Chapter 399. Xiao Haiqing's eyes shone as she thought about her father's thoughts. Maybe he felt guilty again like yesterday and wanted to make it up to her, or maybe he was anxious because he had completely offended Hong Tian. If he was even more of a jerk, he might be thinking that the relationship between his daughter and Jing Yunjiao could bring him some convenience. In the past, she would never think of her father in this way, because in her heart, even if he didn't love and care enough for her, his image was still great. But in reality, that was simply a hero in her imagination, not her father. His guilt was a little cheap. He had to wait until there was actual evidence in front of him before he felt sorry for her. But what if there was no evidence? He would be like just now, shouting at her and saying that she was insensible, jerk, and unfilial. It had been so many years since her mother passed away. The trust between her and her father had been missed. It was already deeply rooted and couldn't be made up for. Jing Yunjiao looked at Xiao Haiqing and felt a little heartache. CEO Hong, isn't it a little too late to blame others now? Police uncles, don't tell me you still want to wait for Miss Hong to turn herself in at the police station? Jing Yunjiao suddenly said coldly. Jing Yunjiao. Hong Wen clenched her teeth. Let her go to the police station? Although there wouldn't be any problems, she would definitely be embarrassed. Thank you for remembering my name now. At least you don't call me a country bumpkin when you open your mouth. Jing Yunjiao's voice was cold as he said, It's a pity that Miss Hong won't call my name. Even if you call my name until your throat breaks, you still have to make this trip. Hong Wen's face was ugly. Father, Hong Tian couldn't even take care of himself. Seeing his daughter, he couldn't do anything. Miss Jing, this is all a misunderstanding. Oh right, old Xiao and I are business partners. We stand on the same side as your friend. There's no need to make things so ugly, right? Hong Tian said again. Jing Yunjiao raised his eyebrows. Whether we stand on the same side or not, it's up to my friend to decide. CEO Hong, your words are useless. Xiao Haiqing glanced at her. Deal with it according to the rules. He directly repeated CEO Hong's original words. Xiao Daoan paused. Haiqing, It's fine as long as we talk things out. There's no need to go to the police station. Dad knows that I was too extreme just now. Dad has let you down, but Miss Hong is also a girl. Xiao Haiqing smiled coldly. She's a girl, but I'm not, right? Xiao Haiqing directly retorted and said, Father, when they wanted to arrest me just now, what was your attitude? You kept saying that I was in the wrong. Are you sure that I'm in the wrong? Or are you afraid of offending CEO Hong? Xiao Daoan's expression instantly stiffened when Xiao Haiqing spoke out his thoughts. Naturally, he didn't want to admit that he was only doing it for benefits. After all, how could that be possible? If his daughter hadn't made so many mistakes in the past, he wouldn't have misunderstood her and wouldn't have been so biased towards her. He was so heartbroken that he didn't believe her. Haiqing. Xiao Daoan's tone was slightly heavy. If there's anything to say, let's go back and talk about it. If Daddy did something wrong, Daddy will admit it. But there's no need to make things so ugly. Can't we stop while we can? No way. Xiao Haiqing's gaze was distant. You've already determined that I'm unreasonable, and I've endured my grievances and thought for you. I don't understand your business matters, and I can't be bothered to understand. I don't want to understand. I only know that whoever goes against me, I'll go against him for the rest of my life. Whether it's Miss Hong or you, it's all the same. Chapter 400. Xiao Haiqing's resolute attitude was surprising. Hearing that his daughter didn't give him any face, Xiao Daoan's anger rose. Xiao Haiqing, how can I treat you well when you're like this? No matter what, why do you have to make such a big fuss? What's wrong with lowering your head in front of me? Do you want me, an elder, to beg you? Xiao Daoan's voice suddenly became louder, not caring about his face anymore. Now, he had already lost all his face. Father, then beg me. Xiao Haiqing was expressionless as she said faintly, then beg me. The veins on Xiao Daoan's forehead popped out, and he was so angry that his body was trembling. He raised his hand and was about to hit her again, but Xiao Haiqing didn't dodge. Seeing him hit her, she smiled brightly and said, See, Father, you're not stupid. Things have already come to this. Whether Miss Hong is brought to the police station or not, the result will be the same. You're angry at me and want me to relent because you want to show CEO Hong, right? You want him to see your sincerity, to see that your attitude can affect me and Jing Yunjiao. But you know when to stop acting. If you really beg me, then you won't be able to raise your head in the future, so you won't. Father, actually, it's not hard to guess what you're thinking. Xiao Haiqing smiled. From an outsider's point of view, she wouldn't be a foolish daughter. Although fortune favors fools, Xiao Haiqing was destined not to be a little girl who pretended to be stupid. She had been alone since she was 7 years old. Although she wasn't an orphan, she was no different from an orphan. So, she was used to planning for herself, used to looking at other people's faces, and used to resisting. What she hated the most was people using her and thinking that she was easy to bully, no matter who that person was, even if it was her father. That kind of warm family love wasn't suitable for her at all, because her father had too many impurities. Xiao Daoan was instantly speechless. Looking at this unfamiliar daughter of his, he suddenly felt a chill in his heart. His heartbeat was shockingly fast, and his brain buzzed nonstop. He had a bad feeling. From now on, this daughter of his would probably treat him worse than before, right? Seeing Xiao Haiqing's reaction, Hong Tian was even more furious at Xiao Daoan. If he couldn't even control his own daughter, what use was he? Since Xiao Haiqing had already said so, there was naturally no room for negotiation. Hong Wen's eyes were red with anger as she was taken out by a few police officers with a face full of resentment. Hong Tian also wanted to follow and take a look, but now that Elder Tang and the deputy mayor were here, how could he leave? Not only could she not leave, but she also had to find a way to apologize to the old man. Elder Tang, this is all my fault. I've made a fool of myself in front of you. Hong Tian smiled apologetically. Xiao Daoan thought for a while, then thickened his skin and said, This matter is mainly my fault. CEO Hong gave me the membership card for this stud farm. I wanted to bring the 3 children here to see the world, but I didn't expect to have a conflict with Miss Hong. But they're all children, after all, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Xiao Daoan himself also felt that he was going against his conscience. But now, he could only do this. He still couldn't offend Hong Tian and even had to help curry favor with CEO Tang. After all, he had already signed a contract with the Hong family's company. Although Hong Tian might withdraw his investment because of this matter, once he decided to withdraw his investment, he would have to rack his brains. Both parties would be at a disadvantage, and it wouldn't be worth it for such a small matter. Hence, Hong Tian was still very likely to continue working with the Xiao family. As for Elder Tang's side, although he didn't believe his daughter, he didn't let Jing Yunjiao down. After all, right? She was his daughter's classmate, so Elder Tang might give her some face. Chapter 401. Xiao Dao, and even felt a little regretful. If he had known earlier that Jing Yunjiao and Elder Tang had this kind of relationship, then he would have invited her to his house long ago and treated her politely. Of course, when the incident happened just now, he would also have some misgivings about her and spoke up for them. He wouldn't have made such a big mistake. See the world? Elder Tang said faintly. What kind of world does Yunjiao want to see that she needs to rely on CEO Xiao? Jing Yunjiao had a cold personality and didn't like to play at all. It was most likely because of this little girl with the surname Xiao that she could appear at the horse ranch. Although this little girl from the Xiao family was a little stubborn, she seemed to have some backbone and was much stronger than her father. His own daughter was wronged, but not only did he not believe it, he even helped an outsider to punish his daughter. He was really promising. He was old and could see things through. What was the point of earning money? Wasn't it for his children and family? However, this Xiao Daoan couldn't even protect his own child. It could be seen that he couldn't distinguish between priorities and wasn't any better in terms of business. Xiao Daoan was dumbfounded by Elder Tang's words. Little girl, there are indeed many fun things in Ning City. I'll get someone to ask around later and send you a few membership cards or VIP cards so that you don't have to rely on others to come in next time. It's fine if you come in, but how ugly would it be if others called you a country bumpkin? However, it's also because others have bad eyesight. Is there a country bumpkin as beautiful as you? Elder Tang said with a smile. His attitude towards her was completely different from his attitude towards Hong Tian and Xiao Daoan. Thank you, Grandpa Tang, but I'll get Brother Bai to get me a few later. I don't usually come here often, but it's fine to give it to my friends, Jing Yunjiao said. She didn't lack money. The entire Jade Spirit Wines was hers, and she was making a lot of money every day. Elder Tang shook his head helplessly. Little girl, you really know how to differentiate. Elder Tang also knew that Jing Yunjiao should have shares in both the Jade Spirit Wines and Jade Spirit Tea House. They might even be Jing Yunjiao's handiwork. She was a doctor, and her medical skills were not ordinary. It could be seen from the grand opening of the tea house last time. Her connections were not ordinary, and naturally, she would not be short of money. She was an independent person. If she had nothing to do with Yuling Wines, she wouldn't have been able to order Pak Yuan around so easily. It was the same for Pak Yuan. He had called him after he received the call today. At that time, when Pak Yuan heard the news, he was even more nervous than him. When he mentioned Jing Yunjiao, he didn't dote on him much. Instead, he was polite and respectful. Elder Tang did not say much, but every word he said was in favor of Jing Yunjiao. Previously, it wasn't good for him to be too direct about the He clan's matters, but it was different this time. Thus, Hong Tian and Xiao Daoan stood at the side like invisible people, listening to the back and forth between the two of them. However, they didn't even have the chance to interrupt. If these two men were like this, then there was no need to talk about Sun Yan. As soon as Hong Wan was taken away, Sun Yan's face immediately turned pale. Looking at Jing Yunjiao, she was filled with jealousy, shock, fear, and all kinds of emotions. The Hong clan that she had spent so much effort to climb up to was probably gone from today onwards. Although Hong Wen was arrogant, she was also a person with a brain. After this incident, she would definitely think that Sun Yan was deliberately trying to sow discord. It was hard to guarantee that she wouldn't vent her anger on Sun Yan. Sun Yan suddenly felt that she was really too unlucky. As long as Jing Yunjiao was around, her luck would be bad and she would lose what she originally had. However, Jing Yunjiao was the complete opposite of her. He still made everyone feel surprised and envious. But what right did she have? Chapter 402. Sun Yan's face was filled with suppressed anger. When no one was paying attention, she secretly walked to the side and prepared to leave. However, when she was just one step away, she was pulled over. What she saw was Ji Shanshan's face. Sun Yan, where are you going? Weren't you quite talkative just now? Why aren't you saying anything now? I don't understand what you mean. Sun Yan's lips trembled. You don't understand? I think you're admitting defeat now, right? Now you know that Jing Yuanzhao is not to be trifled with? But if I remember correctly, you were the one who told Miss Hong that Jing Yuanzhao is an orphan, right? Oh, right. You were also the one who said that the three of us were brave. Miss Hong only remembered to wave her whip to scare us after hearing your words. So, if it weren't for your big mouth, Miss Hong might have ignored us long ago, and this wouldn't have happened. Don't you think so? Ji Shanshan was very clear at this time. She purposely raised her voice so that Hong Tian naturally heard it. When he heard this, he glared fiercely at Sun Yin and remembered her. No wonder his daughter insisted on not letting go of Jing Yuanzhao. It turned out that she was being used as a target. Elder Tang, did you hear that? It turns out that my daughter was being used. Hong Tian hurriedly opened his mouth. However, halfway through his words, Elder Tang directly said, Little girl, since you're here, why don't you come over and be a guest later? Bring your friends along. There are many guest rooms at home. You can do whatever you want. How about it? Jing Yuanzhao glanced at Xiao Haiqing and nodded. Okay, then I'll go back to the Xiao family to get my things. Thank you, Grandpa Tang, for taking me in. Old Master Tang smiled. Xiao Daoan felt bitter in his mouth. Jing Yuanzhao, this little girl, was quite scheming. Looking at how she used the word take in, it was as if he, Xiao Daoan, was the one who chased her out. Unfortunately, even if he was dissatisfied now, there was nothing he could do. Jing Yuanzhao agreed. Old Master Tang left satisfied, and Deputy Mayor Liu also left along. However, even though the three of them had left, the surrounding people still looked at Jing Yuanzhao with a polite attitude. Hong Tian's face turned red, but he didn't say a word. The three of them also lifted their feet to leave. Xiao Daoan thought for a moment and hurriedly went to drive the car. However, when he returned, he saw the three of them sitting in Pak Yuan's car and leaving without a word. Jing Yuanzhao, I didn't expect you to have such a big network. Fine. I'm convinced today. Ji Shanshan laughed in the car. Fortunately, he managed to vent his anger. Ji Shanshan looked at Xiao Haiqing and said, You and your father have quarreled like this. Do you think he will agree to let you go back to Huaning? He will. He doesn't admit it on the surface, but in his heart, he still hopes to have a good relationship with me, Yuanzhao. Xiao Haiqing was very firm. Ji Shanshan pursed her lips. She was really speechless. Although she didn't have a good impression of Xiao Daoan at first, Xiao Daoan's performance yesterday afternoon was not bad, and he didn't seem like an unreasonable person. However, she didn't expect that in just one day, he would return to his original nature. Xiao Haiqing's eyes were a little dazed, and her face was like frost. However, in front of Pak Yuan and Ji Shanshan, she didn't show too much difference. However, she held Jing Yuanzhao's hand tightly. Jing Yuanzhao seemed to be able to feel the anger and unwillingness in her heart. Time passed very quickly. Not long after, the car was already parked in front of the Xiao family's house. In the living room, Jiang Rong was a little surprised to see the three of them come back alone, but she didn't say much. Xiao Haiqing went upstairs by herself and simply packed her things. Chapter 403. Xiao Haiqing didn't have many things. She didn't take any of the beautiful clothes, only the ones she usually wore, and some books. Haiqing, are you leaving? Your father just called me and told me to keep you here no matter what. What happened? But no matter what happens, you should listen to your father. It's hard for him to run his business. You've made him angry every day all these years, but he's still so good to you. You should repay him, right? Jiang Rong said softly as she appeared at the door. Xiao Haiqing had already packed her things. One suitcase was enough. She grabbed the suitcase and looked at Jiang Rong. Annie Jiang, you're the one who's worked the hardest all these years, right? When you saw me arguing with my father, you clearly wanted to laugh. It must have been hard to hold it in, right? I advise you to go see a doctor. Don't get sick from holding it in. Jiang Rong's mouth twitched. Don't be so ungrateful. You're not a good person. Xiao Haiqing walked past her and stopped. But I'm afraid you'll be disappointed in the future. If you make me unhappy, then we'll wait and see. The future is still long. Who knows what will happen in the future, right? She was still young. One day, she would make Jiang Rong lose her footing in front of her. Jiang Rong laughed disdainfully in her heart. She thought that Xiao Haiqing would be very powerful after asking for outside help. Who knew that without her, her arrogance would die in the light, and she would even cause more trouble than before. But she still didn't know why her husband wanted her to stop Xiao Haiqing even though he was very angry. It shouldn't be. But no matter what, this annoying girl finally got out of the house. This house belonged to her. Xiao Haiqing, this burden, should have stayed far away from it. The three of them took their things out. Just as they stepped out, Xiao Daoan rushed over. Haiqing, Arong, why didn't you stop her? She had already packed her things. With this suitcase, was she not going to come back? It's not like you don't know Haiqing's temper. How could I stop her? Jiang Rong said softly. Xiao Daoan didn't say anything. He grabbed Xiao Haiqing. You're going to the Tang family? When will you be back? Xiao Haiqing raised her eyebrows and smiled arrogantly. Dad, do you believe me again? She said that I had a bad temper and couldn't stop her, so you subconsciously agreed, right? Since that's the case, what else is there to say? I can't tolerate sand in my eyes. I'll stay with Yun Zhao and the others at the Tang family's house for a night. Help me deal with the matter of going back to Huaning for school. I'll live in Huaning from now on. That's all. After saying that, he lifted his foot and left. No. Xiao Haiqing, are you still my daughter? Xiao Daoan flew into a rage. I hope not, but there's nothing I can do about it. After all, blood ties are destined by the heavens. Don't worry, Yun Zhao won't let Elder Tang target you. He paused and said, but I don't care what happens to the Hong family. Pak Yuan was slightly surprised when he saw this scene from the car. Xiao Daoan was trembling with anger, but he had to admit that he had been waiting for Xiao Haiqing to say that. Although he didn't let her go on the surface, he had already made a decision in his heart. On the way back, he had checked up on Elder Tang and found out that this old man was someone who could shake Ning City with a stomp of his foot. His identity was too important. Now, as long as his daughter had a good relationship with Jing Yunzhao, even if he had made a mistake previously, Elder Tang wouldn't do anything to him. This was the convenience of blood ties. As for the Hong family, they were all partners tied to the same rope. It wouldn't be that easy to withdraw their investment. Chapter 404. Xiao Haiqing saw the struggle on Xiao Daoan's face through the rearview mirror, and she sneered. Since he wasn't a loving father, why did he have to put on an act? He might as well give her a quick death. However, at this moment, although she left quickly, her heart was in turmoil. Jing Yunzhao knew that she wasn't feeling well, but he also knew her personality. She wanted to be strong and never wanted to show weakness. At this time, other people's comfort wouldn't have any effect at all. Besides, she didn't need it. After all, the so-called comfort was either a white lie or a fabricated hope. It wasn't suitable for someone like her. The car was getting closer and closer to the Tang family. Jing Yunzhao agreed to go to the Tang family not because he was interested in the Tang family, but because he wanted Xiao Daoan to be more respectful. Since Xiao Haiqing wanted to live on her own, she had to make use of the convenience of going to the Tang family. If she went back to Huaning County with her face covered in dirt, wouldn't Jiang Rong be overjoyed? And now, not only could Xiao Daoan not stop her, he even had to pay attention to her from the bottom of his heart. Life was really full of schemes. Not long after, the three of them arrived at the Tang family. Ji Shanshan blushed. Because she had been pestering Jing Yunzhao, her 2 days had been very exciting. She had experienced the thrilling horse accident, and now she had the chance to visit such a rich family's courtyard. This Tang family was simply glorious everywhere. The garden was shockingly big. There was a golf course at the back, a swimming pool next to the main building, and the guest room that Grandfather Tang had prepared was surprisingly big. It wasn't something the Xiao family could compare to. It was indeed a good place to relax. As for the other members of the Tang family, Tang Zihua was still in Huaning County. The children of the Tang family all had jobs and left early and returned late. Moreover, they lived far away, so they didn't meet at all. It was rare for the three of them to relax, and it was like a perfect vacation. Xiao Haiqing was a carefree person. After a few hours, everything returned to normal. She and Xiao Daoan had quarreled for a few years. Although she was sad, she was already used to this situation. It was just that she didn't have the previous expectations in her heart. She didn't even think about reconciling with her father one day. A trace of ambition even faintly appeared in her heart. Early in the morning, Jing Yunjiao was awakened by Ji Shanshan's roar. She saw Ji Shanshan holding her phone and jumping to her bedside. She stuttered, "Jing Yunjiao, what should we do? Chui Jun called me. He actually called me." Xiao Haiqing rolled her eyes and threw a pillow at him. The three big beds in the room were specially arranged by Grandfather Tang. Although he was old, he knew that the little girls liked to talk in private. Jing Yunjiao's mouth twitched. "What does him looking for you have to do with us? You can't be so heartless. We're considered brothers, right? Can you help me think of a solution? Why is he looking for me? Are you going to apologize to me?" Ji Shanshan spoke without thinking. Jing Yunjiao sat up. "Yesterday, you reprimanded Sun Yin in front of Hong Tian. Today, Chui Jun is looking for you. Imagine it yourself. Hong Wen had lost so much face. How could Hong Tian let Sun Yin off? Sun Yin was a calculative person. It would be strange if he didn't look for trouble. I say, Ji Shanshan, you're really an idiot. You've already been stepped on, and you're still asking us what to do? Don't tell me you're still infatuated with this kind of scumbag? Then you're too useless. Don't say that you're Xiao Haiqing's friend in the future. You're so fucking embarrassing." Xiao Haiqing woke up in a fit of anger. Ji Shanshan licked her lips. "Then I won't accept it. Fuck." Xiao Haiqing heard that and instantly lifted the blanket and rushed over. "Accept it? Why won't you accept it? Let's see what he can say. If you don't scold him back today, I'll post your phone number on the internet for people to admire. Do you believe me?" Chapter 405. Xiao Haiqing's roar caused Ji Shanshan's ears to buzz a few times. She was instantly frightened by this aura and became timid. Xiao Haiqing coughed dryly, grabbed the phone, and instantly answered it. She imitated Ji Shanshan's tone and said, "Hello? Shanshan, where are you now?" Chui Jun asked directly on the other end of the phone. Xiao Haiqing curled her lips. It was so obvious that he couldn't recognize Ji Shanshan's voice. It was obvious that Ji Shanshan didn't have a place in his heart. In his opinion, even if Ji Shanshan suddenly became mute, it had nothing to do with him. It was a trivial matter. Ji Shanshan was stared at by Xiao Haiqing. She braced herself and said, "I'm with my friends. I don't care where you are. Come to Yixing Cafe now. By the way, you are not allowed to bring your two friends, especially Jing Yunjiao." Before Ji Shanshan could finish, Chui Jun said directly. After that, he hung up the phone. Xiao Haiqing spread her hands. "See, scumbag." Ji Shanshan was also stunned. "Then what should I do?" "Miss Ji Shanshan, do you like this scumbag so much?" Xiao Haiqing asked with a look of contempt. She had never seen such a stupid person. The other party's attitude had been so obvious, but she still looked hesitant. Saying that she was infatuated? Xiao Haiqing directly denied it in her heart and shook her head. She and Chui Jun were childhood sweethearts. This kind of relationship was mostly due to dependence or habit. She had made up her mind to follow Chui Jun. She kept self-hypnotizing. People who thought too much became stubborn. She felt that without Chui Jun, she couldn't live or marry in the future. But in fact, it was just that she was too good to herself and couldn't bear to put pressure on herself. In this world, who couldn't live without someone? Every time she quarreled with her father, she felt that the sky was falling. But now, after seeing the nature, she found that it was not a big deal. She was an independent person. Even if she didn't have a hero in her heart, she could still live well. This so-called insurmountable hurdle was, in fact, just a matter of his own heart. Ji Shanshan was confused by Xiao Haiqing's question. "I don't know either. In any case, I've never gone against his wishes. In the past, every time we quarreled, I was the one who tried to reconcile with him. The most serious one was probably that time with Jing Yunzhao at the medicine manor. You know in your heart that he doesn't treat you well and doesn't like you, but you still insist on pestering him. Are you inclined to self-abuse? Xiao Haiqing said directly. Jing Yunzhao sat on the bed and nodded her head cooperatively. Ji Shanshan sighed sadly. I just can't bear to see him unhappy. After a Haiqing's eyes, Ji Shanshan. You have a disease. You should be cured. Is Shanshan's disease? Think about it. You like him now, and he's using that to his advantage. Now, he's telling you to go to the cafe because he thinks you're easy to bully. Now, he is enslaving you. What about in the future? If you marry him in a few years, he will further erode your rationality. Maybe one day, he will be interested in your Ji family's property. Even if you are filial, you are used to giving. You will feel that it is right to give your family's property to him. If he takes your family's property, your parents will have nowhere to go. Your brother will be disappointed in you. He will cut ties with you in a fit of anger. If Cui Jun falls in love with a woman like Sun Yin, then you will have to pack up and leave. You won't even have a family to rely on. Chapter 406. Xiao Haiqing used her imagination and said some things to scare Ji Shanshan. However, the more she said, the more she felt that it made sense. She continued, actually, what I just said isn't that scary. Being kicked out of the house is a light punishment. Someone like him might want to keep a free labor like you. When he finds his woman, you'll have to serve him. It's just like in ancient times, when he's rolling in the sheets with other women, you'll have to kneel outside the tent and wait for him to finish. Ji Shanshan's mouth twitched and her face instantly turned red. She only liked Cui Jun. It wasn't to that extent, however. After hearing Xiao Haiqing's words, Ji Shanshan shuddered. Wasn't that right? Sun Yin was now like a woman he was keeping outside. Every time Sun Yin was wronged and unhappy, she could only promise in front of Cui Jun that she wouldn't make things difficult for her in the future. In this state, she really was like a useless concubine. It was the same for her family. In fact, the Cui family and the Ji family didn't have a good relationship in the beginning. However, after she met Cui Jun, she kept pestering her father to visit the Cui family. After a while, she slowly became familiar with the Cui family. In addition, when she was young, she always said that she wanted to marry Cui Jun when she grew up, so her parents were very polite to the Cui family. They were afraid that her childhood words would come true. If it weren't for her, the Ji family wouldn't have helped the Cui family so much. She still remembered that a few years ago, the Cui family didn't have time to concoct a kind of medicine. They were so anxious that they were burning eyebrows. When Cui Jun saw her, he was also unhappy. This made her feel wronged, so she kept crying in front of her family. In the end, her father stepped in and gave the Cui family a prescription to concoct the medicine, which solved the Cui family's predicament. However, because of that, the Ji family's concoction method was no longer the only one, which caused them to lose a lot of money. In all these years, no one mentioned that matter, so she even forgot about it. Now that Xiao Haiqing mentioned it, she realized that she seemed to have been used as a tool by the Cui family since she was very young, asking for benefits from the Ji family on behalf of the Cui family. Thinking about it, Ji Shanshan shuddered. She could tolerate Cui Jun bullying her, but she absolutely could not tolerate her parents being persecuted. Jing Yunzhao saw the change in her expression, and her eyes flashed. She opened her mouth and said, I've seen Uncle Ji before. He's a very temperamental person. If you really give the entire Ji family to the Cui family in the future, then when the time comes and the Ji family's recipes change hands, I'm afraid your family's ancestors will jump out of the ground in anger. When Uncle Ji feels that he has let down his ancestors, Jing Yunzhao's voice gradually became softer. However, Ji Shanshan continued to follow her words. The Ji family's ancestors concocted medicinal ingredients for the imperial palace. What they enjoyed was an honor that no one could compare to. Their bones carried an innate pride and responsibility, so Jing Yunzhao's words weren't shocking at all. Someone like Father Ji had the responsibility of passing down his legacy for several generations. Ji Shanshan only needed to think carefully to know what would happen to the Ji family if they lost those prescriptions. In an instant, Ji Shanshan's face turned pale, and she started to panic. The effect was still there. Ji Shanshan was indeed a hopelessly stupid idiot, But that was only when it came to Cui Jun. Once she thought about her family's concocting business, her mind became much clearer. My father asked my father for a lot of advice because I gave the Cui family a prescription. Also, I wanted Cui Jun to perform better at the medicine fair last time. Chapter 407. After Ji Shanshan said that, it was as if a door had opened in her mind. She suddenly remembered everything that had happened in the past. For example, when they were young, she would give the best food to Cui Jun. When Cui Jun was unhappy, he would even be her punching bag. However, after crying for a few days, she would try to reconcile with him. When they were in school, her grades were better than Cui Jun's. However, when she saw that Cui Jun was unhappy, she was willing to be his foil and became less interested in studying. It was the same when it came to making medicine. In fact, she had liked to interact with herbs since she was young. When she thought about how her ancestors made medicine for the emperor, she even felt proud of it. However, when she found that Cui Jun was very disappointed because he was learning how to recognize herbs, she became disgusted with these complicated herbs. In addition to these, she used to give Cui Jun countless good things. As long as it was given to her by her parents, she would feel that it was natural to give it to Cui Jun. Just like Xiao Haiqing and Jing Yunjiao said, she was enslaved little by little. Perhaps at first, she felt resistant. However, the more she gave, the more she felt that it was okay to give a little more. She didn't even know when she started to lose her sense of self in front of Cui Jun. Was Cui Jun really that good? Ji Shanshan's heart was pounding. He didn't treat her well at all. In fact, he treated her very badly. It was just that she had always enjoyed it. For example, she would remember every important day in the Cui family. However, Cui Jun didn't even know her birthday. Even if she told him a second ago, he would forget about it the next moment. He didn't even think about remembering it. He had always been blunt with her. Her small mistakes would spread infinitely in his eyes. There was no reason for her to lower her head. Sometimes, she even felt that it was enough to be by his side. For him, he could endure all kinds of her small temper, not to mention her pride and willfulness. She could be unreasonable in front of her parents and friends. However, in front of Cui Jun, he was the law. Ji Shanshan suddenly felt cold all over. Her whole body sank into an abnormal chill, especially after spending the past 2 days with Jing Yunjiao and Xiao Haiqing. She realized that she was different from them. Jing Yunjiao was very calm, or it could be said that she was like a person who stayed out of things. Her whole body exuded an aura that kept people away. She was not to be trifled with. She was very clear about her own people and outsiders. Those who got along well with her were very good to her. It could be seen that her efforts had always been mutual and not one-sided like her. Xiao Haiqing, on the other hand, was straightforward and unrestrained. Yesterday, when faced with her biological father's doubts, she did not show any weakness in front of others. He had analyzed his father thoroughly so that he wouldn't fall too deeply into it. This was a huge difference. What should I do? Ji Shanshan had a bitter face and murmured. The next second, she directly threw herself on Xiao Haiqing's body. "Two heroes, please guide me." Xiao Haiqing snorted. "This hero will help you get revenge." Self-abuse is something that only fools do. Being able to abuse others is a skill. Learn well. Ji Shanshan nodded like a chicken pecking rice. Bad habits must be changed. If it's spread, that bad habit will become a terminal disease. What should we do now? Are you going to accompany me to the coffee shop? Ji Shanshan asked cautiously. Jing Yunjiao glanced at her, shook her head, and laid back down on the bed. Xiao Haiqing pinched Jing Yunjiao's cheeks and also climbed back onto the bed. "Even though that childhood sweetheart of yours wants you to go to Yixing Cafe immediately, but based on his trashy nature, he'll at least be 1 or 2 hours later than us. Since that's the case, let's get a good night's sleep first." Chapter 408. On this point, Jing Yunjiao and Xiao Haiqing had the same idea. The two of them sank into the soft bedding and continued to sleep soundly. When Ji Shanshan saw that the two of them were so careless, she felt like ants on a hot pan. She tiptoed back to her bed, but couldn't fall asleep no matter how hard she tried. Cui Jun's face kept flashing in her mind. If he knew that she didn't arrive early, he would be flustered and exasperated. He would be angry at her and look at her with disgust. But wasn't it just being late? He had a history of making her wait for an entire day. 2 hours was nothing to him, right? Ji Shanshan was full of thoughts. She tossed and turned for more than an hour. As soon as she heard Jing Yunzhao and Xiao Haiqing get out of bed, she almost instantly jumped up. She hurriedly brushed her teeth and washed her face, but found that the two of them were still leisurely. Two big sisters, hurry up. She couldn't help but want to urge them. How can we go out to fight if we don't eat enough? Jing Yunzhao imitated Xiao Haiqing's tone and teased. That's right, that's right. People who are on call are the cheapest. Learn to improve your style, understand? Xiao Haiqing didn't take it to heart. He was just a scumbag. Was it worth it for them to rush out? Was he worthy? Ji Shanshan was completely speechless. She was really used to it. Every time she met Cui Jun, she was afraid that she would be late. No matter how important the matter was, she would immediately put it down. She even had to arrive early every time. However, after being told by the two of them, Ji Shanshan took a deep breath. Since she wanted to change, she had to be thorough. She, Ji Shanshan, was also the precious daughter in the palm of her parents' hands. If she didn't even have this bit of pride, then she really didn't have any future to speak of. Ji Shanshan finally settled down a little, especially when she saw Jing Yunzhao and Xiao Haiqing's leisurely manner. No matter how angry she was also suppressed. She obediently washed up and ate with them. At the dining table, the two of them even chatted very leisurely. When she listened to them, she even forgot that Cui Jun was still waiting at the coffee shop. This kind of feeling seemed to be quite good. Before they finished eating, Cui Jun's phone rang again. It had been 2 hours since the last time he called. If Cui Jun had arrived earlier, he probably wouldn't have waited until now. Ji Shanshan couldn't help but laugh in her heart. Cui Jun wasn't anxious. Her brain must have been damaged for her to feel that she had let Cui Jun down. Now, reality had proven that what Jing Yunzhao and the rest said was completely right. She picked up the phone and heard Cui Jun's roaring voice on the other end. Ji Shanshan, where are you? Didn't I tell you to be early? Why haven't I found you at the coffee shop? Ji Shanshan was shocked. She dug her ears and said, What are you yelling for? Didn't you just arrive? Just wait there. I'll be there soon. After that, he hung up the phone in fear. When he looked up, he saw Xiao Haiqing giving him a thumbs up. Although your aura is a little weak, you are worth teaching. You have improved. She was mainly afraid of embarrassing herself. Cui Jun yelled at her in front of Jing Yunzhao and Xiao Haiqing. If she still responded like before, the two of them would probably eat her up. But this was the first time she hung up on Cui Jun. She was nervous and a little excited at the same time. It was like the thrill of revenge. She suddenly liked the feeling of crushing others in terms of status. What should she do? Chapter 409. Ji Shanshan absent-mindedly finished her breakfast, while Cui Jun was already mad with anger. He had known Ji Shanshan for so many years, but this was the first time she had hung up on him and even dared to yell at him. Sure enough, she had been with Jing Yunzhao for a long time, so she had learned to be bad. Cui Jun also had a temper, especially in front of Ji Shanshan. He immediately called back a few more times, but Ji Shanshan directly muted her phone and watched the screen light up, but no matter what, she did not press the answer button. She even thought of the scene when she called Cui Jun before. Sometimes, she would call more than a dozen times, but no one answered. If she kept calling, it would directly turn off. When she saw Cui Jun and asked, Cui Jun would say that she had called his phone until it ran out of battery. She could only silently apologize for this and promise that next time, she would not keep harassing him like this. But now, looking at it from another perspective, it turned out that sometimes, it was not because she did not want to answer the phone, but because the person who called was not so important. Even if she used to care about him with good intentions, in the eyes of others, she was just a hateful person who kept chasing him. When Ji Shanshan thought of this, the guilt in her heart instantly dissipated a lot. The three of them were ready to go out after breakfast, but Grandfather Tang was very considerate and specially sent a driver to follow them. The car was the old man's exclusive car, which was high-profile and luxurious. Jing Yunzhao originally wanted to refuse, But when she saw Ji Shanshan and Xiao Haiqing's heart-shaped eyes, she accepted without hesitation. What's more, they were going to tear apart a scumbag, so they couldn't lose in terms of momentum. The three of them dawdled for more than half an hour before they arrived at the Yixing Cafe. Ji Shanshan walked in with a nervous heart, but in order to cheer herself up, she deliberately raised her head and puffed out her chest, looking very energetic. Jing Yunjiao and Xiao Haiqing just came out to relax, unlike Ji Shanshan, who looked like she was going to fight. The cafe was not big, so as soon as the three of them entered, they saw Cui Jun sitting in one corner. Next to Cui Jun was Sun Yin, whose face was very ugly. As soon as Ji Shanshan saw Sun Yin, she was even more certain of Cui Jun's purpose in looking for her. In an instant, her anger rose, but it also strengthened her confidence. He walked over aggressively and sat down directly. "Why are you looking for me?" Cui Jun's face darkened when he saw Ji Shanshan. "You still know how to come? What time is it? I called you more than 2.5 hours ago. Also, didn't I tell you to come alone? Why did you bring Jing Yunjiao with you?" Ji Shanshan was even angrier at the mention of this. "Didn't you just arrive half an hour ago? Why should I wait for you so early?" Ji Shanshan said angrily. Cui Jun gritted his teeth. When did Ji Shanshan become so aggressive? If it was in the past, Ji Shanshan would have immediately apologized whenever he got angry. Besides, wasn't it just 2 hours earlier? In the past, Ji Shanshan would not say anything even if she waited for a day, but now she was putting on airs. Cui Jun took a deep breath. "Let me ask you, what happened yesterday?" Jing Yunjiao and Xiao Haiqing sat on the side and did not participate, but Ji Shanshan inexplicably felt a lot bolder, especially after Jing Yunjiao saved her at the horse ranch. She felt that with Jing Yunjiao around, she would not have to worry about her safety being threatened. "Yesterday? Nothing," Ji Shanshan said casually. Chapter 410. To Ji Shanshan. Even though she had almost fallen off the horse yesterday, it was all in the past. They didn't suffer any losses, so there was no need to bring it up. However, Cui Jun sneered. "You still say it's nothing? Ji Shanshan, you weren't like this before, right? I didn't expect you to be so selfish. You weren't hurt, but you pestered Jing Yunjiao and made such a big deal out of it. My cousin was having fun with her friends, but you had to interfere. It's fine if you sent her friends to the police, but how could you accuse my cousin of sowing discord in front of others? I think you're the one who sowed discord," Cui Jun said again. On the side, Sun Yin stared at Ji Shanshan, trembling with anger. She had put on a thick layer of makeup and wore a hat, but it wasn't because she wanted to look good. It was because she wanted to cover the injuries on her face. After leaving the racecourse yesterday, she had nowhere else to go, so she could only return to school. Who knew that when she arrived at school, the few rich kids who had invited her to the banquet would directly take her to an empty classroom and beat her up without any explanation. They even said that they didn't want to see her in school anymore, or they would beat her up every time they saw her. When had Sun Yin ever been humiliated like this? No matter if it was physically or mentally. If it wasn't for Ji Shanshan's shout before she left, Hong Tian wouldn't have vented his anger on her for his daughter being sent to the police station, and those rich kids wouldn't have beaten her up for Hong Wan. She couldn't go back to the Cui family, and she didn't dare to go back to school. Where could she go? What about her? It all started when she met Jing Yunjiao. Jing Yunjiao and Ji Shanshan were her nemeses. Originally, she wanted to take revenge on Ji Shanshan first, but Jing Yunjiao was also here. Although it was a little difficult, since she came knocking on her door, she couldn't be blamed. She couldn't be blamed. After being brainwashed by Jing Yunjiao and Xiao Haiqing, Ji Shanshan's attitude towards Cui Jun was much more sober. Now that she heard Cui Jun's words, she completely realized how stupid she was. "Cui Jun, Sun Yin is your cousin, not your lover. You've been helping her since she was young. Are you interested in her? Let me tell you, it's useless even if you have feelings for her. It's impossible between the two of you." Ji Shanshan mocked. She had wanted to say this for a long time. She had seen men siding with their mother, but she had never seen a man siding with his cousin like this. If this was in ancient times, these two people would definitely be a couple. The so-called gap between relatives and age would not be a problem at all. When Cui Jun heard this, he was instantly enraged. What nonsense are you talking about? This was his cousin. How could he be interested in his own cousin? Ji Shanshan was like a wild dog, biting people in a frenzy. Sun Yan's face stiffened. Shanshan, I know you think I'm a hindrance to you. You like Cui Jun, and I support it. I'm his cousin, and we grew up together. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that we're siblings, so it's inevitable that we're close. But you can't ruin me because of jealousy, can you? Jealous of you? You're not worthy. Who are you pretending to be crying for? Isn't he just a scumbag? If you like him, I'll give him to you. I was blind in the past, but now that I'm cured, I don't want him anymore, okay? Ji Shanshan was furious like a mad lion. She was so noisy that it gave people a headache. This was something that Jing Yunzhao had experienced when he first met her. However, although her voice was as loud as a machine gun when she was angry, she was usually quite normal. Her current state was more like a bluff to boost her courage. Chapter 411. Ji Shanshan's outburst made Cui Jun's sunny face turn ferocious. Although he was young, he was still scary when he got angry. He slammed the table, stood up, and pointed at Ji Shanshan. Ji Shanshan, I'll say it again, there's nothing between me and my cousin. And who are you calling a scumbag? You're the one who's been following me all these years. Can't you see that I hate you? You're like a tiger skin plaster that I can't shake off. Just thinking about you makes me sick. You still have the face to make irresponsible remarks in front of me? I called you here to make you apologize to my cousin. From now on, if you bully her again, don't ever appear in front of me again. Also, take out 50,000 yuan. Because of you, my cousin doesn't even have a place to stay. You have to compensate her. After that, Xiao Haiqing spat out the coffee in her mouth. Cough, cough. I'm choking. Xiao Haiqing took the tissue from Jing Yunzhao and said with a strange expression, chauvinist cancer. It's so serious. I'm so scared of Yunzhao. This disease isn't contagious, right? The two were sitting at the table next to each other. Xiao Haiqing's voice wasn't loud, so Cui Jun naturally heard it clearly. Ji Shanshan was stunned. She couldn't believe it. You want to borrow money from me? No, I'm not borrowing. Cui Jun's face was cold. Shanshan, my cousin has to rent a house and buy daily necessities. If she can't go to school, she can only eat out. Everything costs money. Ji Shanshan suddenly felt that she was a sucker. Did Cui Jun think she was easy to take advantage of? What does her being kicked out of school have to do with me? Besides, I don't have that much money. Even if she did, she wouldn't be stupid enough to give it to Sun Yan, would she? Cui Jun heard her and became even more dissatisfied. Stop messing around. You said it's none of your business. If it weren't for you, my cousin wouldn't have become like this. If you don't compensate her now, we'll never see each other again. Ever since Sun Yan lost the competition, his father didn't allow Sun Yan to enter the Cui family again, let alone support her living expenses. Moreover, his father was worried that his cousin would take money from him, so even his living expenses were reduced by half. That little bit of money was not enough for his cousin to use. Moreover, it would be fine if she lived in school, but now that someone did not allow her to go back to school, renting a house outside was not a small expense. Ji Shanshan's mouth twitched. No wonder Xiao Haiqing and the rest called her an idiot and an idiot. How did she like Cui Jun before? It was one thing for him to come and go as he pleased, but now he even wanted to act as their ATM? She was still a student. Not to mention 50,000 yuan. Even 500 yuan was not a small amount to her. She wanted her to ask her family for money. If he wanted 50,000 yuan now, what would he want in the future? Would they have designs on the Ji family's prescription? Geez, she was unexpectedly calm, unexpectedly calm, then let's not meet. June, is there something? You want to ask me for 50,000 yuan? Our family's money doesn't grow on trees. Even if I want to spend it, I won't spend it on you. Besides, she deserves to be messed with. Even if you want compensation, you shouldn't be asking for it from me. How unreasonable. Ji Shanshan said angrily. Cui Jun immediately frowned at Ji Shanshan. He wanted to be polite and coax her, but who knew that she would be so late, so he couldn't control his anger. Even so, Ji Shanshan shouldn't have such a big reaction. Besides, what kind of nonsense was she talking about? Chapter 412. Cui Jun was used to being pursued by Ji Shanshan. Her sudden attitude made him extremely uncomfortable. He couldn't figure it out no matter how he thought about it. From Jing Yunzhao's point of view, Ji Shanshan's reaction was normal, but Cui Jun's worldview had been greatly affected. Ji Shanshan, what did you just say? Don't want to meet? Fine. You said it. Don't go back on your words. Cui Jun said angrily. Didn't he know Ji Shanshan well? She looked arrogant, but she was just a paper tiger. Ji Shanshan had always been stubborn when he said to go east. It wouldn't be long before Ji Shanshan would run to him and beg him again. How long could she be stubborn? Ji Shanshan snorted. I won't go back on my words. You adulterers can do whatever you want. You'd better stay away from me in the future. As soon as she said that, Cui Jun raised his hand and was about to hit Ji Shanshan. Jing Yunzhao saw this and ruthlessly kicked the stool beside her towards Cui Jun's direction. In an instant, the stool hit Cui Jun's calf, causing him to lose his balance and kneel on the ground. His hands grabbed onto the table and his nose scraped past the corner of the table, causing 2 streams of blood to flow out. Sun Yin screamed and quickly helped Cui Jun up. Cui Jun's legs were numb from the impact, and he couldn't stand up for a long time. If it were before, Ji Shanshan would have run up to him in a hurry. But now, not only did she not show any concern, but she was also very happy. All her efforts over the years were dedicated to a dog. Although it was her wishful thinking, Cui Jun often showed that he enjoyed it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been stupid for so long. Jing Yunzhao. Sun Yin shouted angrily. She picked up the teacup on the table and threw it at Jing Yunzhao. Jing Yunzhao instantly grabbed the empty tray in the hands of a passing waiter and blocked it. Fortunately, it was still early in the morning, and there weren't many guests. Therefore, it didn't cause too much of a commotion. Moreover, when Cui Jun and Ji Shanshan were quarreling, the others could vaguely hear some of it. Naturally, they had an idea of what was going on. Although this Cui Jun was considered handsome, asking for 50,000 yuan was not something a normal person would do. Moreover, how could they not understand what he was saying? Obviously, he thought that he was amazing and was so proud of this girl. Therefore, when Cui Jun was beaten to kneel on the ground, no one complained for him. On the other hand, Sun Yin was the oldest among them. She was only in her early 20s, yet she dared to make a move on a 16 or 17-year-old girl. No one had a good impression of her. Jing Yunzhao's body was still clean, and Sun Yin hadn't taken advantage of him at all. Previously, Cui Jun thought that Ji Shanshan had learned how to play hard to get, but now he understood. She really wanted to cut off all ties with him. His nose was bleeding, but Ji Shanshan was still so arrogant. This was not her style at all. You deserve to kneel. Even if you kneel until you leave a hole, I can't serve you like before. Bah. Ji Shanshan's haughtiness rose as she spoke. After that, she glanced at the 2 of them and took out her wallet. After fiddling around for a while, she took out a few coins. Sun Yin, you're short on money, right? Then I'll give these to you. No need to thank me. I can still afford a few yuan. The coins spun on the table. The sound made Sun Yan's head explode. Clenching her fists, she stared at Ji Shanshan and clenched her teeth. She had already typed a text message in her hand. Chapter 413. Jing Yunzhao and Xiao Haiqing weren't prepared to argue with Cui Jun or Sun Yin. After all, this was Ji Shanshan's own business. She was like an idiot in front of Cui Jun, so they didn't need to go tit for tat with others over an idiot. However, Ji Shanshan's reaction at this moment surprised them a little. They expected her to reject Cui Jun, but they didn't expect her to be so determined. It was rare for them to see her in a different light. Xiao Haiqing stuffed the dessert in front of her into her stomach. Seeing that it was about time, she dragged Jing Yunzhao out. Ji Shanshan had already left after saying her piece. She stood at the intersection and waited for the 2. It was early in the morning, and the surroundings were very quiet. There were only a few cars. Ji Shanshan sniffed the air outside and surprisingly found that she didn't feel sad. Perhaps she had already prepared herself for this. It was better to get the pain over with. She didn't want to be abused by Cui Jun one day, like Xiao Haiqing said. She didn't want to torture her family for him. Emotions could easily blind people. Even if she was filial, once that scumbag became her faith, it was hard to guarantee that she wouldn't do something irrational. Jing Yunjiao paid the fare and met up with Ji Shanshan. Thank you for today. Ji Shanshan's face was bright. Jing Yunjiao pursed his lips. Xiao Haiqing grinned. After today, you won't lower your head and beg to get back together with him, right? That was something she would do. Ji Shanshan blushed. I'm not that stupid. I'm going to ask my dad to send me to Grandpa's place to learn how to make medicine. Jing Yunjiao, just you wait. I was quite talented when I was young. As long as I'm willing to work hard, I'll be a master of medicine. I hope so. Jing Yunjiao's tone was the same. Ji Shanshan was used to it. Don't underestimate the Ji family. My wife's grandpa is a super famous master. Jing Yunjiao's mouth twitched. Didn't she just fall out of love? She changed her face faster than flipping a book. All right, let's go, Jing Yunjiao said. The two of them nodded and walked over to the Tang family's luxury car. Just as the two of them were about to get into the car, Cui Jun, who was still in the cafe, rushed out. Obviously, he wanted to settle the score with Jing Yunjiao. Ji Shanshan turned around and made a face at Cui Jun. When Cui Jun saw that, he couldn't suppress his anger. Seeing that the three of them were about to get into the car, he sped up and ran a few steps in Ji Shanshan's direction. With a smile on her face, Ji Shanshan pretended not to see anything and got into the car. However, as soon as he turned around, he heard a few sharp screams coming from behind him. When he turned around again, his pupils instantly shrank. He saw a large truck run over Cui Jun. Not only that, the truck did not stop. It was rushing towards the three of them at an extremely fast speed. Although it was morning, there were many cars on the road. They had no idea where the truck came from. Jing Yunjiao heard the screams and saw the scene. She immediately tensed up. If she was alone, she would naturally be able to react. However, there was also Xiao Haiqing, Ji Shanshan, and the Tang family's chauffeur. Fortunately, Xiao Haiqing and the chauffeur were on her side. However, Ji Shanshan was on the other side of the car. Her martial arts had not yet reached the level of perfection. How could she take care of so many people at the same time? Moreover, there was more than one truck. As the first truck charged over, there was also a small car on the side of the road. Ji Shanshan was standing on the left side of the truck. Even if she moved a step to the left, it would be useless. Instead, she would directly hit the small car. Chapter 414. Jing Yunjiao's mind raced. In a split second, he yanked the driver and Xiao Haiqing and threw them against the wall. The next moment, instead of retreating, he rushed toward Ji Shanshan. She was gambling. How could there be such a coincidence in this world? She had just stepped out of the house when two cars collided at the same time? She would not believe it if someone didn't do it on purpose. As for who that person was, she knew without thinking. Sun Yin couldn't have arranged such a big accident, but she was definitely an accomplice. Then there was only Hongwen left. Judging from the situation at the racecourse yesterday, the only person who would fight over such a small matter was probably Hongwen. The other party wouldn't just kill two innocent people. Therefore, she and Ji Shanshan would definitely be the first targets. If she dodged in the direction of Xiao Haiqing, then no one would be able to escape. Yunjiao. Xiao Haiqing's whole body hit the wall of the shop next to her. Her chest shook violently, and she felt as if her internal organs were about to burst. The driver was even more embarrassed, and he didn't even know what was going on. Jing Yunjiao jumped from the car in front of him to Ji Shanshan. Just as he grabbed Ji Shanshan, two cars rushed over. Comparing the two sides, Jing Yunjiao didn't hesitate to carry Ji Shanshan as they dodged to the left. Dong! Xiao Haiqing could only see the two of them hugging each other as they landed on the red car. They rolled over the car's roof and landed beside the guardrail in the middle of the road. In an instant, she was completely stunned. In front of her, the truck passed by her with a gust of wind. There was no doubt that the expensive luxury car was instantly smashed into a pile of debris. The truck stopped in front of her, and behind it was Cui Jun lying in a pool of blood. She didn't know whether he was dead or alive. The nearby traffic was instantly paralyzed, and people immediately gathered. Xiao Haiqing only felt monstrous hatred. She wanted to rush over, but she was stuck in the corner by the truck and couldn't move at all. In just 10 seconds, she couldn't react to what had happened. Darkness gathered in front of her eyes, and she felt like she was going to faint. Her trembling hands pinched her thighs, and there was a trace of pain that woke her up a little. Hearing the chaos around her, Xiao Haiqing's scalp went numb. She didn't know where she got the strength from, but she climbed onto the truck door in front of her and punched the window. In an instant, glass flew in front of her eyes. The truck driver was safe and sound. Xiao Haiqing held a piece of glass in her hand, which was stained with blood. She stared at the driver, who seemed a little frightened, climbed over, directly, aimed at his aorta, instantly. "I want you to die." Gee, she gritted her teeth. The only person she cared, the only person she cared for, and she was the only person she could trust. Whoever dared to touch her, she would take their life. And she wasn't stupid. What Jing Yunjiao could think of, she could also think of. Jing Yunjiao seemed to be saving Ji Shanshan, but in fact, he was saving her, to attract the driver's attention and to prevent the truck from hitting her. Xiao Haiqing's face was so dark that it was scary. The truck driver's blood instantly sprayed on her face. She wiped it and climbed over the driver's body. She left the narrow corner through the other side of the truck door and rushed in the direction of Jing Yunjiao. There were a lot of people around, and the two cars had crashed about 10 meters in front of them. Smoke was rising from them. Jing Yunjiao curled up on the ground. She could feel some warm liquid in front of her eyes, but she only felt a little dizzy, and there was not much pain. So she was sure that the blood was not hers. When she saw Xiao Haiqing running over with a look of despair, she suddenly remembered the proud woman in the newspaper in her previous life. She was like an enchanting queen emitting light. At that time, when she saw Xiao Haiqing's photo, she was very envious. She thought, this is probably the strongest person in the world. If she could live another life, she really wanted to be like her, brash and unrestrained, and do whatever she wanted. Chapter 415. Xiao Haiqing rushed to Jing Yunjiao's side. She almost went crazy, especially when she saw the blood on her body. Her mind went blank. "Yunjiao? How are you? Where are you hurt? Don't scare me." Xiao Haiqing's eyes were glistening with tears. Jing Yunjiao moved her body dizzily. "I'm fine. But Ji Shanshan seems to be seriously injured." When she carried Ji Shanshan to avoid the red sedan, she had calculated the right angle. Therefore, although her back was aching, it wasn't serious. She rubbed her head and looked at the unconscious Ji Shanshan beside her. She quickly checked her. When they fell from the car, Ji Shanshan's head hit the ground hard. Although she tried her best to protect herself, she was caught off guard by such a strong force. She couldn't react in time. Xiao Haiqing was still frowning, but her eyes didn't leave Jing Yunjiao. She saw her get up unsteadily. Jing Yunjiao squatted in front of Ji Shanshan and helped her clean her wounds. Xiao Haiqing, on the other hand, paid close attention to her. After making sure that there weren't any major external injuries, she let out a sigh of relief. Even though she wasn't a medical student, she knew that even though there weren't any external injuries, if there were any serious internal injuries, it would be more dangerous. Jing Yunjiao first treated the wound on the back of Ji Shanshan's head. Not long after, the ambulance arrived. At this time, Jing Yunjiao's mind had more or less recovered. She also noticed that Xiao Haiqing was covered in blood. What's going on? Why is there so much blood? Jing Yunjiao was stunned. She didn't have any wounds on her body, and her complexion was normal. Where did the blood come from? On her hand? Xiao Haiqing was still holding the piece of glass. She subconsciously clenched it hard. Only then did she feel the pain. She woke up, thinking of what she had done. Her face turned pale and her body trembled. It's someone else's. Someone else's? Jing Yunjiao was shocked. Other than Ji Shanshan and Cui Jun, there was someone else injured? The truck driver? Jing Yunjiao asked again. Xiao Haiqing nodded. Suddenly, Jing Yunjiao felt as if he had been thrown into an ice cellar. I didn't know about your condition at the time. I was too anxious. I don't know what happened. Xiao Haiqing's voice was very soft. The people in the ambulance were busy treating Ji Shanshan's wounds, so no one noticed. Jing Yunjiao looked at the small piece of glass in her hand and gritted his teeth. He suddenly said in a low voice, "Haiqing, the drivers of these two cars deliberately came for me and Ji Shanshan. They deserve to die, but they can't compensate you, so you can't admit it. If anyone asks, just say it was self-defense. You wanted to pass through the truck driver to check on me, but when you saw the truck driver, you were extremely nervous and scared, so you subconsciously resisted. If anyone suspects you, you have to say that it was the other party who initiated the attack," Jing Yunjiao said. His eyes were cold and resolute. She didn't want to lie, but sometimes she had to. She didn't want to ruin Xiao Haiqing's life because of two scumbags. Although they were the ones who drove over, so what if they could prove that the other party had deliberately tried to kill them? Unless the court sentenced the driver to death and executed him, or it was self-defense, they couldn't get rid of this crime. The former was impossible, so it could only be the latter. "I understand," Xiao Haiqing said softly. Although the situation wasn't optimistic for her, she didn't regret it. She had seen the driver, and the look in his eyes was obviously pity. Although he was panicking, his eyes were still staring in Jing Yunjiao's direction. He was afraid that Jing Yunjiao wouldn't die. Chapter 416. Xiao Haiqing's hands and feet were cold. She was still in a state of fear. It was her first time killing someone. At that moment, blood gushed out. She only felt that everything in front of her was red. That color seemed to be covering her eyes even now, and she couldn't wipe it away no matter how hard she tried. Only when she held Jing Yunjiao's hand tightly did she feel a little more at ease. Jing Yunjiao was fine, and so was she. That was good. Xiao Haiqing was in a trance at this time. Even if she pretended to be calm, the emptiness in her eyes couldn't be hidden. Not long after, the three of them were sent to the hospital. Although Ji Shanshan's head was bleeding, fortunately, the heavy blow she received came from the ground and not from the car that was speeding over, so the situation wasn't very serious. Moreover, Jing Yunjiao had already treated her wounds on the way, so it wasn't a big problem. During the medicine conference, Jing Yunjiao also left the phone numbers of several pharmaceutical masters. Therefore, when they arrived at the hospital, they immediately contacted Ji Shanshan's father. However, compared to Ji Shanshan, Cui Jun was different. His situation was extremely serious. When he was brought to the hospital, almost all of his organs were separated from his body. Now, he was undergoing surgery. Sun Yin was also in the hospital. Naturally, he also informed Cui Jun's father, Cui Zhanxian. In addition, the Tang family's driver had also contacted grandfather Tang. There were police and reporters around. In short, it was a mess. Grandfather Tang sent someone to drive away the reporters. Jing Yunjiao breathed a sigh of relief. The driver of the car hit a pillar and died on the spot. As for the truck driver, Xiao Haiqing, according to our preliminary examination, the truck driver was killed by a sharp blade. At that time, the closest person to the truck driver was the Tang family's driver, and you were the only person who passed by the truck. Yes, it was me. That's right, it's me, but at that time, my hands and feet didn't listen to me. He wanted to run us over. Even though Jing Yunjiao dodged in the end, I saw it. When the car stopped, he was still staring in Jing Yunjiao's direction. This accident wasn't an accident. I was too scared. When I saw him staring at me, I was afraid that he would kill me, so I made the first move. Xiao Haiqing's expression was still nervous. Her whole person was in a trance. Xiao Haiqing's mind was buzzing. Jing Yunjiao glanced at the policeman. Although the two drivers are dead, this matter is not so simple. I suspect that someone hired them. We've checked. The truck driver's name is Zhao Chuan. There are 5 people in his family. His son is seriously ill, and his family's situation is not very good. The driver of the car is a drug addict. The car was stolen. We can't rule out the possibility that he was addicted to drugs when the accident happened, the policeman said. Jing Yunjiao sneered. So you're saying that one of them is pitiful and the other is out of control. So this is an accident? The son of the truck driver is seriously ill, right? If that's the case, isn't the chances of him being bribed a little higher? If someone promised him a large sum of money, I believe that he might kill for that money for his son. And that drug addict, what if he was lured by drugs? We've already started investigating. We did find that a sum of money was transferred into the account a few minutes before the accident. However, the source of the money is not a problem. The other party only said that they saw the situation of the Zhao family on the internet, so they paid such a large sum of money. Moreover, you don't know them, the policeman said. Jing Yunzhao secretly clenched his fist. That Hongwen was not stupid. She could have gotten someone to transfer the money. It had nothing to do with him, so how could they investigate? Chapter 417. Jing Yunzhao was furious. She wasn't going to take this loss for nothing. Now, even if the police asked, it would be pointless. On the other hand, the fact that Xiao Haiqing killed the truck driver was something that couldn't be denied nor erased. She was immediately brought to the police station for investigation. Jing Yunzhao asked Elder Tang to help hire the best lawyer to follow them to prevent any accidents from happening. Although Xiao Haiqing had the ability to bear criminal responsibility, she was still young. Moreover, as they said, the situation was critical. It wasn't impossible for a person to lose control of their mind after being stimulated, so there was still room for maneuvering. However, they couldn't prove that the two drivers were bribed. They couldn't determine whether they killed on purpose or not. In this regard, they were at a disadvantage. As soon as Xiao Haiqing left, Jing Yunzhao's brows seemed to have frozen. Soon, Ji Shanshan's father and Cui Jun's father rushed over. Ji Shanshan's father was anxious. His face was unbelievably gloomy. Needless to say, Cui Zhanshan rushed toward Jing Yunzhao as if he wanted to kill someone. What did you do to my son? Jing Yunzhao, you can't be so lawless. If anything happens to my son, I'll make you pay with your life. Cui Zhanshan roared. Their Cui family only had one son. Jing Yunzhao's expression was like a ghost crawling out of hell. She glared at the other party and said, "What right do you have to make me pay with my life? You should be looking for Sun Yin. You should ask her if she thought that I didn't die, but Cui Jun is still alive." After being called out, Sun Yin, who was sitting in the corner, trembled. Her face was pale, her lips were trembling, and cold sweat was flowing down her forehead. She looked too frightened. It has nothing to do with me. I don't know why this happened. Jing Yunzhao, you can't wrong me, Sun Yin immediately said. But because of her guilty conscience, her voice was unbelievably low and weak. Did I wrong you? Sun Yin, with Cui Jun's mental fortitude, it's a miracle that he waited for Ji Shanshan for half an hour. I'm guessing that you're going to ask Ji Shanshan for the 50,000 yuan, right? If she had given you the money, you might have held back for a while. But not only did Ji Shanshan not give you the money, she even humiliated you. That's why you decided to go all out and kill all of us, isn't it? I didn't. Sun Yin roared. Hongwen contacted her early in the morning and asked her to have a good chat with Jing Yunzhao and Ji Shanshan. She also mentioned Yixing Cafe, saying that it was a good place. She hoped that she could meet Jing Yunzhao at the cafe. She also asked her to send a message when Jing Yunzhao and Ji Shanshan left. She knew that Hongwen wanted to teach them a lesson, but she didn't want Jing Yunzhao to come. She knew that if Jing Yunzhao came, it was unlikely that Ji Shanshan would pay for it. She wanted money. Although she wanted Jing Yunzhao to be unlucky, she didn't want to make it so obvious. However, she didn't expect Jing Yunzhao to come. Not only did Ji Shanshan not pay for it, but she also humiliated her. That was why she asked Hongwen to do it. She thought that Hongwen would at most find someone to scare them. Who knew that she would hire someone to kill them? She was dumbfounded when she saw the truck driving over, but it was too late to regret. She could only pray that Hongwen's plan would succeed. However, she didn't expect Cui Jun to chase after them. In the blink of an eye, he was dragged under the truck. After the truck passed by, only a bloody mess was left. He was so close to her. She wanted to stop him, but before she could speak, Chapter 418. When she thought of Cui Jun, Sun Yan's heart bled and she fell into a trance. Over the years when she lived in the Cui family, her uncle and aunt treated her well, but in reality, they were very distant. They were all on guard against her. afraid that she would take advantage of the Cui family. Therefore, only Cui Jun treated her well and put her first in everything. Her heart wasn't made of stone. Although she always used Cui Jun, she still treated him as a little brother. How could she want to kill him? It was all too coincidental. No, it was all Jing Yunjiao's fault. If she hadn't made a move on Cui Jun in the coffee shop and made him kneel on the ground and lose face, Cui Jun wouldn't have rushed out in such a hurry. Uncle, it's not my fault. I really didn't do it. It was Jing Yunjiao. It was her. Slap. Before she could finish, Jing Yunjiao walked over and slapped her hard. You didn't do it? How could the car just happen to hit us? I'm afraid you either called or sent a message when we walked out of the coffee shop, right? Sun Yin, did you delete the message? Even if you did, it's useless. It can be found. Jing Yunjiao's words made Sun Yin tremble. It wasn't me. I didn't. Just as she spoke, Sun Yin suddenly thought of something. Why did Hong Wen have to find her? Why did she have to remind Jing Yunjiao to go out? If she wanted to harm Jing Yunjiao so much, she could have arranged for someone to wait at the coffee shop and keep an eye on Jing Yunjiao's movements at all times. This was killing two birds with one stone. She and Hong Wen hadn't known each other for long, but she knew that Hong Wen was a very vengeful person. Her heart was smaller than a pinhole. When she used Hong Wen at the racecourse, Hong Wen probably already remembered it in her heart. She just didn't show it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have allowed those rich kids to kick her out of school. Hong Wen probably wanted her to take the initiative to send the message. Whether or not she killed Jing Yunjiao, she would blame it on her. With a suitable motive and concrete evidence, she couldn't deny it even if she wanted to. Sun Yin suddenly felt like she was an idiot. Why did it take her so long to figure it out? Suddenly, Sun Yin stopped talking. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell the reason at a glance. Cui Zhanxian didn't believe it at first, but seeing Sun Yin's reaction at this time, he was simply burning with anger. At this time, the door of the operating theater was opened and the doctor walked out. Cui Zhanxian immediately rushed over. How is my son? Doctor, my son? The patient's vital signs were not obvious when he was sent here. His injuries were too severe, and he had lost too much blood. We did our best. After the doctor finished speaking, he shook his head and left. Cui Zhanxian still didn't understand. He only saw his son being covered with a white cloth and pushed out. In an instant, his whole person seemed to be unable to stand. Impossible. How could my son die? His Cui family had only one son for 3 generations. If his son was no longer around, who would he pass it to? Sun Yin, you bitch. I've raised you for so many years, but you killed my son. Cui Zhanxian almost went crazy and pounced on Sun Yin. A big man like him was scratching and scratching. Sun Yin wanted to resist, but now she knew that she couldn't get rid of this crime. Cui Jun was dead, the 2 drivers were dead, and Hong Wen didn't do anything from the beginning to the end. No matter what, she couldn't be blamed. Moreover, although it was Hong Wen who called to cooperate with her, the phone number wasn't Hong Wen's usual phone number. In the morning, she thought it was strange, but now she knew that Hong Wen had long planned this. Chapter 419. At this moment, Sun Yin felt like crying. She thought she was the smart one, but in reality, the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. She was just a chess piece in the eyes of others, thrown away just like that. Who was to blame? The skin on her face hurt from Cui Zhanxian's pulling. Sun Yin was a little hysterical. Are you done? Yes. I was the one who told those 2 to go out with Jing Yunjiao. Can you blame me? Cui Jun chased after him. Sun Yin cried in despair. Speaking of which, if Cui Jun hadn't taken her from school to the medicine association, she wouldn't have gone up against Jing Yunjiao. If she hadn't competed with Jing Yunjiao, she wouldn't have lost. She wouldn't have lost so shamefully and even been removed from the medicine association. If it hadn't been for that, she could still live in the Cui family and wouldn't have to shamelessly curry favor with Hong Wen. Even the heavens didn't help her. Why did Jing Yunjiao have to go against her? She lived so hard. She thought she could finally enjoy the good times. Why did she have to suffer again and again? This was too unfair. You heartless ingrate. You still blame my son. I'll beat you to death. Cui Zhanxian's old face was full of tears. If he had known that Sun Yin would kill his son, he wouldn't have let her stay in the Cui family and taught her how to make medicine. Sun Yin was just a woman. Naturally, her strength couldn't compare to Cui Zhanxian's. Cui Zhanxian suffered the pain of losing his son like crazy. The two policemen who stayed to ask questions couldn't stop him. However, now that Sun Yin had confessed, the policemen were relieved. They couldn't believe that such a young woman would hire someone to kill someone. Moreover, this woman looked gentle and kind, but they didn't expect her to be so vicious on the inside. The Cui family went crazy for a long time. Sun Yin was beaten black and blue. Father Ji wanted to do it himself, but when he saw Cui Zhanxian's madness, he suppressed his anger. That night, Sun Yin also went to the police station. Ji Shanshan only woke up in the middle of the night. The Ji family's parents and her older brother had all gathered together, so Jing Yunzhao could be considered to have handed her over to them. She didn't stay for long and returned to the Tang family for the night. The next day was supposed to be the day to go to school, but since things had turned out this way, Jing Yunzhao could only tell teacher Qi to postpone going back for a few days. In a short period of time, Jing Yunzhao had people coming in and out of the police station one after another. Even Grandpa Tang felt that it was strange. Hongwen was still fine. Although she had been there once because of the horse ranch incident, the Hong family was still considered rich and powerful. At that time, there were no serious consequences. Therefore, Hongwen just went through the motions and stayed there for a few hours before coming out. However, Xiao Haiqing and Sun Yin were different. Both of them were carrying lives on their backs. It would be difficult for them to get out if they didn't clean up the mess. However, the lawyer that Grandpa Tang found was famous for being eloquent. In addition, Sun Yin admitted that she was the one who ordered the two drivers, which also proved that the other party could have continued to commit murder after the accident. Therefore, Xiao Haiqing's reaction at that time was still very likely to be legitimate self-defense. In addition, with the Tang family stepping in, this matter wasn't as serious as expected. However, Xiao Haiqing was charged for murder. When Xiao Daoan heard the news, he was so angry that he didn't step in. Xiao Daoan's temper wasn't good enough. On one hand, he thought that his fatherly love for Xiao Haiqing was like a mountain. On the other hand, he could throw this daughter to the back of his mind for business. However, when everyone thought that he could completely treat this daughter as a chess piece for business, he was so angry that he didn't even care about the Tang family and didn't want to curry favor with this daughter anymore. However, Xiao Haiqing didn't care that he didn't step in. Chapter 420. Xiao Haiqing knew her father too well. In the past, when her father thought that she was always involved in petty theft, he would be angered half to death. Now that there was concrete evidence that she was a murderer, he probably wished that he didn't have a daughter like her. Even if others told him that she was in danger, it wouldn't be as important as the word murder to him. He might even think that since she was so inhumane, it would be better for her to be killed by a car than to kill someone. Xiao Daoan had a standard in his heart. In his imagination, his daughter should be sensible and considerate of her parents. Once Xiao Haiqing deviated from the image in his mind, he would think that Xiao Haiqing had done something wrong. He wouldn't even ask her why she did it. The Xiao Haiqing that Xiao Daoan thought of was a little evil in the past, but now, she was a big evil. There was no saving her. He would rather pretend that he didn't know his daughter than admit that she was a murderer. Xiao Haiqing, on the other hand, felt peaceful. After all, she could imagine what kind of scene it would be if the father and daughter met. They would definitely point at her nose and scold her, saying that she was vicious and incurable. A few days later, Xiao Haiqing was released according to the law. On the contrary, Sun Yin was accused of murder. Although Sun Yin repeatedly accused Hongwen of instigating the murder, no one found any traces related to Hongwen. Sun Yin's accusation to others was nothing more than revenge for a personal grudge. It was completely useless. Although Jing Yunzhao was well aware of this, Hongwen was indeed very smart. She stripped herself clean of this matter, and no one could do anything to her. Because of a text message, Sun Yin was completely disqualified from the crime. In addition, the crime was serious, causing 3 deaths and 1 injury. Therefore, her death sentence was suspended for 2 years. Even if she was lucky enough not to die in the end, her life was completely over. However, when the crime was announced, Sun Yin immediately went crazy. The moment the car accident happened, Cui Jun was run over by a truck right in front of her eyes. That bloody scene was still fresh in her memory. After a few consecutive blows, she immediately became abnormal. All day long, she kept saying, "It wasn't me, it wasn't me." But even so, it couldn't change the established facts. At the same time, Ji Shanshan woke up on the day of the car accident and found that her family was stuttering. Only then did she know that Cui Jun was not saved. At that moment, his feelings were incomparably complex. She thought that she would be extremely sad, but in fact, she only felt a trace of pity. After all, Cui Jun was still young. As for sadness, it was only a little. After being together for so many years, it would be abnormal if she didn't have any feelings for him like a stone person. However, Papa Ji's family still felt that something was wrong with her reaction. After all, they didn't know that Ji Shanshan had no feelings for Cui Jun, so they thought that she was too sad. Then, they carefully took care of her for a long time, afraid that she would accidentally hurt herself. Of course, Ji Shanshan was not that stupid. Although she didn't say it, at the moment of the accident, all she could think of was her parents and brother. Other than regret, there was nothing else left in her heart. She had been willful all these years. If she died without being filial to her parents, she would definitely not die in peace. Therefore, the moment she could open her eyes, it was not an exaggeration to say that she was crying tears of joy. The Ji family felt like they had regained Ji Shanshan after losing her, but the Cui family, on the other hand, was shrouded in dark clouds. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.